I made some adult Rice Krispies today, and yes, I do ship. $10 for the bar and $10 for shipping. So $20 per Rice Krispie bar. I'm on one right now, and yeah, let's get into the story. Imagine finding out that your niece is also your stepdaughter. You and your husband been together for 6 years, and for the past 3 years, y'all been trying to have a baby, and it's been pretty hard for y'all to conceive. You had 2 other siblings, including a twin, who has been there with you throughout your fertility journey every step of the way. She was currently pregnant with her second baby. A 3-year-old niece, Jayla, was like your mini-me, and she was with you damn near every day. She also took a special liking to your husband because your sister said that she didn't know who her father was. So he was like a father figure to her. He went to her daddy-daughter dance. He would go to dads with donuts and any other fatherly activities that would be at school. Your husband would step up, and you loved it for your niece. About 6 months into your sister's pregnancy, you got the surprise of your life. You got that positive pregnancy test that you have been trying so hard for. You announced the pregnancy to your husband, really cute, really simple, and really sweet. You got some booties and a onesie and said, "Hi, Dad, I'll be here soon." He caught on to it pretty quick, and he was very, very happy. You decided to wait to tell the rest of the family about your pregnancy until after your sister have your second niece. Let's skip ahead a little bit, because one day while you was at work, you ended up getting a text message from one of your friends. Your friend had sent you a picture of your husband and who she thought was you at an ATM machine, and he was handing who she thought was you some money. She like, "Bitch, you don't never be at work." So you like, "Haha, break my nigga, break him. He just trying to make sure Big Mama okay." You know, trying to play the shit out, knowing that ain't you. So as much strength as it took you not to text him, you didn't want him to get a heads up on knowing that you know what was going on. So you held that shit in all day at work until you end up getting out. When you got out, you showed your husband a picture when you got home, asking him, "What did you do with me know with my sister, like giving her some money?" He didn't really have a really good explanation right off the bat, talking about some she ended up texting him saying that she needed some money for some food, that her and Asia was at home hungry, so he told her to meet him at an ATM. What are y'all doing talking without me? What type of conversation should she be having with you about some money that I don't know? He couldn't answer that question to save his motherfucking life. Don't nobody want to hear that. So boom. After that or whatever, you end up storming out the house, and you end up driving over your sister's house because somebody finna get some answers, because this is weird to me. So you end up asking your sister, what is going on? Why you asking my husband for money? And you show her the picture. So she's like, "Oh, I texted him, I was looking for you." Like, why would you be texting? It's not making sense. Okay? It wasn't making sense. So like, bitch, for weeks, like that shit did not sit right with you. Something smelled fishy after that, because one of them giving you a direct answer, both of them was stuttering, and ain't nobody giving you no real explanation on why that exchange actually happened. You get what I'm saying? So now you're a little suspicious. So one day you was keeping your niece or whatever, you started looking at your niece, and your niece started looking a whole lot like your motherfucking husband. For real, for real. So you end up doing what any curious, crazy ass bitch would do when you end up getting a DNA sample taken from your niece and your motherfucking husband, because it did not look right. Keep in mind, this whole time you supposed to be celebrating your first pregnancy, but that one little incident that kind of fucked up everything. So for those next 3 weeks, you and your sister was on bare minimum speaking terms, and so was you and your husband, even though he just tried to convince you that it was nothing like she really just asked him for some help. That wasn't very uncommon, but it was very uncommon for you not to know and for them to do it in such a sneaky ass way. Let's fast forward, bitch, because we 3 weeks in, and instead of sending a DNA test back to the house, you decided to send it to your job, and now you have gotten the envelope and you don't know if you want to open it or not. You constantly stirring at it, it's stirring at you, you stirring at it, it's stirring at you, because you don't know if you really want to open it or not. Because what if it says something that you don't want to know? So you took a deep breath, and you went ahead and opened up the envelope. You did it in the car, because just in case, okay? Turns out, 3-year-old Asia is your 3-year-old stepdaughter. She is the daughter. He is the father. The life in you, bitch, boiled like lava. You end up leaving work early, and you end up going home, and you decided to cook your husband dinner. You made some lamb, you made some mashed potatoes, you made some broccoli, and you also got a nice ass glass of you got a nice ass bottle of wine. By the time he got home, half of it was already gone. So he's like, what's the occasion? What's going on? What's the special occasion? You like, I'm nothing. I just wanted to treat my husband to a lamb, you know, my future baby daddy. So he like, ha, 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 with the baby daddy word. So you like, as y'all eating or whatever, you ask him, do you have anything that you want to tell me? He's like, nah, baby, what do you mean? Comes to the eating. You like, is there any secrets that you've been keeping from me? So he like, nah, baby, like, you know, what you talking about? I ain't got no secrets. You like, are you sure? He like, no, baby, I ain't got no secrets. We ain't got no secrets. You ain't got no secrets. Nah, we got open communication. Put that paper on the table. What do you mean? Asia is your daughter? He dropped his fork. Life is so crazy. Imagine finding out that your niece is your stepdaughter. Once the receipts was printed, he honestly didn't have too much shit to say. And because he didn't have anything to say, bitch, your emotions end up kicking in. And you start throwing your plate, your fork, your knife, your wine at his motherfucking face. You end up putting a gash from his eyebrow all the way down here to this part of his eye. So while he's still sitting right there, you end up getting up from the table and you like, you need to leave. He was like, leave, baby, just listen, where I'm gonna go, where I'm gonna go. You hit him with the Beyonce. I don't know. But you can grab your toothbrush, you can grab your tie, you can grab your favorite motherfucking suitcase, and you can stay at the Four Seasons. Better yet, you can go stay with your fucking baby mama. He was like, baby, can I explain, please? Just let me explain. Ain't shit to explain. While he was still standing right there talking, you end up grabbing your keys, you grabbed your purse, and you grabbed your friend Big Sal. And you end up heading to your twin sister house because the bitch got some explaining to do. When you end up making it to your sister house, you got there on the motherfucking door. On the motherfucking door. And you know she there, but she ain't answering it. So your husband must have gave her a fair warning. So you like, I know you in there. I know you in there. Open up your door. So she ended up opening up the door, but she still had the latch. So she opened the door. It's like this. Like what? Bitch, open up this motherfucker door. She like, why you so aggressive, Sus? What's going on? Open the door. Why aren't you opening up the door? She was like, look, I know. Can I just explain? Explain, yeah. Explain. So, oh, thank you. And you gave me some ice. Thank you. So you like, Sus, like, how could you do that to me? Why would you do that to me? You know how much I love my husband. You know how hard it has been for me to have a baby. What? Talk. Like, she ain't saying shit. And boom. She ended up closing up the door and she ended up unlatching it and opening it to let you in. She had your niece holding her hand right beside her, knowing you was finna knock her motherfucking socks off. So she like, you remember that weekend when we all went to Puerto Rico for the week? And you like, yeah. She was like, you remember when we all got really, 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 really drunk? You like, yeah. She was like, Sus, okay. So we were really, really, really drunk. Bitch, speak your mind. Because at this point, she irritating you. So at this point, you start walking towards her and she bagging up a little bit. She's like, let me finish. Because bitch, you taking too motherfucking long. You need to tell me what's going on. She was like, well, I'm going to try to shorten it up for you. You remember how you fell asleep in my room and I accidentally fell asleep in yours? She was like, yeah. She was like, well, Marcus woke up next to you, but that night he was laying next to me. She was like, he thought I was you. And I didn't tell him different because I was drunk. She was like, when I ended up finding out that I was pregnant with Asia, I knew it was his, but I didn't want to ruin y'all relationship. I ended up telling him that it was his child. And he asked me why I didn't get rid of it. He never knew. He didn't remember sleeping with me until I reminded him. He said he thought it was you. You like, so my husband don't know my pussy from yours? Yeah, no, I ain't falling for it. So you start walking towards her a little bit faster. And you end up tripping her and she end up falling to sit back on the couch. When she stood up again, splash, her water ended up breaking. So boom. You did grab your niece Asia and your sister, and you did rush your sister to the emergency room. You did not stay for her childbirth. You did leave. A couple days later, your mama ended up calling you saying that your sister had complications with the baby, but they are okay. So you end up telling her to put your sister on the phone. She ended up putting your sister on the phone. You asked your sister, you got it on speakerphone? She's like, no. You end up asking her, hey, is Marcus this baby's daddy too? She end up telling you nah. So boom, you like, I don't mean no harm, sis, I ain't gonna lie. Like, when you get out the hospital, I'm gonna beat your ass. She's like, what? Like, I ain't touch you because you was pregnant, but I'm gonna beat your ass. So you end up hanging up the phone without hearing whatever else she had to say, because it really didn't matter. For the past, like, a week or so after that, your husband been trying his best to contact you, been coming by the house, been really just trying to get his woman back. But remember, you are pregnant. So let's skip a little bit, because let's get back to you. You end up waking up for your first doctor's appointment to check on little baby. You end up getting dressed. You walk outside, and your husband is sitting right there in y'all little egg chair on the porch. He's like, babe, I want to come to the doctor's appointment. This is our first baby. You really want to piss me off today. You like, this is my first baby, not yours. You need to get from around here. I don't want you. I don't want your help. I don't need your help. He be like, but this is our baby. Like, please, I just want to come to the hospital with you. You like, look, I want a divorce. I never thought that my life would go this way, and never in a million years did I think that you would have a fucking baby with my fucking sister. I never thought I would be going to our child's first doctor's appointment alone, but I am. So he constantly still walking up towards you. You reached back and you popped his ass with your Stanley Cup. You end up getting in the car and you drove to your first doctor's appointment alone. Yes, you were sad, but you was happy, especially when you heard your baby heartbeat. She would hate for you to lose your child. So walking out of the hospital, you said, you're going to have to cut off everybody, because you are not about to lose this baby. So I fucked up the niece's name in the second joint. Her name is not Asia. The first niece's name is Jayla. The second niece's name is Asia, which is the second born. Okay, so boom. Let's go ahead and get into the next one, because you just found out that your husband fathers your first niece. And she probably your second. So for the next few weeks, nobody really heard from you. You were still trying to process the fact that your husband is the father of your niece. And maybe the second niece too. So your mama had been calling you for weeks. And it's not like you not to answer the phone for your mama. And so just like any concerned one, she ended up coming over to do a pop-up visit. You was in the kitchen. So you was in the kitchen fixing you and baby something to eat, because you was unaware that anybody was finna come to your house. When you went to the door and checked, it was your mama. And honestly, it was a pleasant surprise. So you end up opening up the door, spoon in mouth, and your mama immediately gave you a hug, saying that she was so worried about you. She hadn't heard from you for weeks. She been trying to contact you, and she really just wanted to make sure that you was okay. Now, by this time, you was a couple months along, and your mama ended up noticing the small pudge in your stomach, especially the fact that you was small figure. You was slim. I had to bring them out because you know it's gonna get good, right? So your mama ended up putting her hand on your lower stomach, and she's like, you know, are we expecting? You smiled back and you said, yeah. She popped you on your shoulder like, why don't I know this? Why haven't you told anybody? You was like, I was waiting on Toodles to have Asia. That's your sister name, well, her nickname. So your mama gone ahead and step into it. She's like, being Jayla daddy, you like, that's what the paternity result says. Your mama like, Bean is Jayla daddy, mama. That's what I said. Like, don't piss me off. She's like, there is no way Toodles would do that. But Toodles did. Man, you finna get put out. Because what do you mean ain't no way? And she did. Mama always seems to favor Toodles more, like, ever since the child had been young. But you never let that stop a mother-daughter relationship with your mama. So your mama then continues to say, there gotta be an explanation for this, Shameless. It gotta be an explanation for this. But at this point, you're ready for your mama to leave, but you do say, she says it's an accident. So here she go. Well, there it is. If she says it's an accident, it's an accident. So if she said her shit don't stink, does that make it true? I think it's time for you to leave, Mom. You had to go ahead and put her exit to plan. As you was walking her to the door, you end up telling her you always take Toodle's side. You have always favored Toodle more. Like, what do you mean if she say it's an accident, it's an accident? So she's like, look, I didn't mean any harm by it, Shameless. But look, I'm having a brunch Saturday, and I want you to come. You like, not if Toodles gonna be there. She's like, nope, Toodles is not gonna be there. It's just gonna be me, your brother, and a couple of your aunties. She was like, and it'll be a great way for you to share the news about the new addition to the family. You end up telling your mama, like, I don't really know. I don't know, but I'll let you know. Like, please come. No cap though, that Saturday you did decide to go to your mama brunch, because if your sister just so happened to be there, she was gonna catch that motherfucking phase you promised her after she had that baby. You went and you took a bottle of champagne too, because for the next 7 months you weren't gonna be able to drink it anyway. Your auntie was there, your brother was there, and he was so happy to see you because y'all hadn't seen each other in a little while. And the outfit that you had on the cute little sundress, it was very obvious that it was something baking in your oven. But no one said anything, but everybody just looked. So when brunch was being served, your mama tried to pour, not your mama, I don't know. So when brunch was being served, your brother tried to pour some champagne in your glass, and you was like, nope, I'm not drinking. He like, you ain't drinking? Because you was a drinker, shameless. And it was shameless. Anyway, so you say, you know, I'm expecting. Everybody cheering for you. Everybody saying, oh my God, giving you hugs. They are so happy because a few of them knew your fertility journey. While you was in the kitchen getting your fruit off the fruit tray and shit, you end up feeling a little tug on your leg. While you was in there getting your fruit and shit, you end up feeling a little tug on your leg. It was your niece. It was Jayla. So you knew if Jayla was there, Toodles wasn't too far behind. So your twin sister ended up walking in there. She's like, hi, everybody. Put plates down, jumps on ass, pregnant and out. It was just like old times. You was on Toodles' ass like y'all was 18 again. Of course, they had to come and break it up. But you like, I told you was going to kiss this face. She's like, I didn't mean to sleep with him. Sleep with who? And I tried to do this next part in the damn car, but my phone kept on overheating, so it looks like we back in the AC. So let's get back to it. So when you end up jumping up on your sister and she said what she said, that made everybody in the family kind of like, what's she talking about? So your mama ended up pushing both of y'all outside, and y'all ain't answering nobody's questions. So one of your aunties, you can hear her like when you get pushed out, like, who slept with who? They was fucking curious. Aunties then wanted to know what was going on. So your mama, she get y'all, she like, no, we ain't doing it here. No, this is not what I brought y'all two together for. So you look at her, you like, Mom, I told you I did not want to come if she was here, because this was going to happen, and it's going to happen every time we run into each other. So she was like, y'all sisters before anything. Y'all was sisters before that man. So whatever anger y'all got for each other, take it out on that man. You looking at her like, girl, if you don't shut the fuck up. You end up hearing your niece crying in the house, and you knew this shit was not going to be resolved, especially not in one day. So you end up just turning around saying, fuck what Mom talking about, and you got in the car and you went back home. So when you pulled up back at the house, guess who was there? Yeah, your soon-to-be ex-husband sitting on the porch waiting for you. So you walk up to the door or whatever. Before you can even get the key in the door, he touching you right here saying, oh my God, are my babies okay? Boy, if you don't get your motherfucking hands off me. He was like, baby, please, it's been months. I'm ready to come back home, because at this point, you're like 5 months along. He's like, haven't I suffered enough? Haven't you suffered enough? No, you really have not suffered enough. So you're constantly telling him, like, get off my porch, get away from the house, go back to where you came from, get away from her, get away from her, get away from her. And you proceeded to go into the house. He proceeded to try to come behind you, but you end up pepper spraying him and end up locking it out. Because what you think this is? You're not finna overpower me. I'm pregnant and I don't have time for the bullshit. About 20 minutes later, he ended up texting you like, thanks for pepper spraying me. I'll be back tomorrow. Whatever it takes to get my family back. So ever since you end up finding out that your niece was your husband's daughter, sleeping is not something that has been coming easy to you. When you went to the doctor, you ended up finding out that you had sleep insomnia, which made it impossible for you to fall asleep. So you laying awake in the bed one night and you end up just texting your sister out the blue and asking her, is she his also? You end up seeing like the 3 dots come across the text messages, but she did not respond. You end up just closing up your phone and tried your best to go to sleep. Maybe a couple hours later, you was back up and you had a text message from your sister. It was one of them long text messages, the ones you send your boyfriend after a breakup. spilling out your heart, that's how long it was. So she goes in the text message to say that when she did introduce you to your husband, she did not disclose to you that him and her had a fling. Like, the fling was harmless and it only went on for a couple months when they realized that they couldn't be in a relationship. She then introduced you to him a year later because they still remain friends. This is something that your sister never told you happened between her and your husband, because otherwise you probably wouldn't have dated the nigga. She then goes in a motherfucking text message to say that the affair between her and your husband started that weekend trip that y'all took together. Yes, sleeping together the first time was an accident, but the second, the third, and every other time after that was not. She's like, after that first time, that accident, the feelings for him that she had back in the day started to wake up. And maybe he felt the same because they continued the affair for years. She's like, I know the relationship between you and I is dead now, but I really had to get that off my chest. I really wanted you to know. She goes, I still love him. However, I am willing to give him back to you so y'all can be a family together. Bitch, what the fuck you mean? Get him back to me. Then she sent a follow-up message. And to answer your question, yes, Asia is his too. This boiled your fucking blood. You almost forgot that you was pregnant. The only thing you could really do in that moment is really sit there with tears coming from your eyes, because this man who you plan to spend the rest of your life with, to give kids to, give a future to, has now destroyed everything that you thought that y'all was about to build from sleeping with your fucking sister. And now your two nieces are your stepdaughters. Now your two nieces is also siblings with your child. Oh my God. So let's get back into the story. Because early that morning, around 7, 8-ish, you end up texting your best friend. Your best friend had recently moved to Chicago about 7 months ago. So she didn't even know that you were expecting. So you end up FaceTiming her and you was in the mirror, kind of like I am with you right now. And she ended up saying, is that a pudge? Remember, you were slim built. You smile and you end up telling her yes, that you were expecting. She gave you so many congratulations. Then turned around, bitch, why you ain't tell me? This, that, and the third. She ended up looking in your face and she could tell that something was wrong. She's like, girl, what's wrong? So you end up going over everything that had happened, and your friend was standing there in fucking shock on FaceTime. So she ended up saying, bitch, every time I ask you to come out here to Chicago, you always tell me no. You always tell me no. She was like, come. I'm going to send you a plane ticket. You need to get away from all this. You accepted your friend's offer. And later on that night, you was on a flight on your way to Chicago. Your best friend came and picked you up from the airport. And why did she have some fried chicken and some fries and some motherfucking Kool-Aid in the passenger seat waiting on you? Knowing you was home. You fucked that chicken up before y'all made it back to her house. You went to your friend's house and she had a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, and she told you that you could stay as long as you need. You don't need that type of stress around the baby. Later on that night, y'all kind of went through the day catching up or whatever, but later on that night, you end up waking up and going to the bathroom and you saw little specks of blood in the toilet. With all the challenges that you've had, you end up waking up your best friend. She took you to the emergency room expeditiously. When you got back there, of course, they put the baby on the monitor, end up letting you know that the baby was fine, the baby is healthy, what's going on with you. So you end up telling them that, you know, life has been a little challenging and you've been a little stressed out. They said that could be a result of the spotting from your stress. Your best friend said, see, you needed to come up here with me. Why don't you just stay until after you had a baby? Your husband is the one that pays the mortgage to the house. You decided to take your friend up on her offer. And you decided that you was going to stay in Chicago until you had the baby. Because, I mean, motherfuckers that betrayed you, you was going to be alone out there. They end up keeping you in the hospital overnight for observation. And while you was at the hospital, your husband ended up ringing your line. You answered. He heard hospital monitors. He saw that you was in the hospital and he immediately got worried. What's going on? How is the baby? Are you okay? It's really none of your concern. He's like, what you mean it ain't none of my concern? That's my baby. And so is Asia. And so is Jayla. Those are your concerns. He's like, babe, come on. Like, this is our first child. Fuck that. You are clearly looking over the fact that you got kids with my fucking sister. So you not gonna deny the fact that Asia is your baby. You like, she told me that she wasn't mine. So you admitting to me that you've been sleeping with my sister for years and y'all got 2 kids together. I don't want to talk to you no more. Please quit calling me. You are stressing me out. You hung up the phone. Boom. While you still in the hospital room, the doctor ended up coming in because he was about to get ready to discharge you. So you end up putting your husband on mute or whatever, and the doctor talking to you. He looking in your face and he could tell something is wrong. Like if you are an empath, you can tell when something is wrong with somebody. So he like, is this the cause of your stress? You like, why the doctor pick up the phone and say, good morning, sir? Good morning. You are causing this beautiful woman stress while she's carrying a baby. She is 5 months along and she don't need it. So she's going to have to talk to you later. And the doctor hung up the fucking phone. You and your best friend was fucking tripping. He ended up telling you to take it easy. He told you what to eat. Told you to keep an eye out on the spotting. And that you were free to go. Your friend ended up taking you back to the house. And she catered to you all day. She's like, oh, bitch, do you know what you have? And you told her now that you wanted to keep it a surprise until the baby asked you to get here. She was like, ugh, you have always been that type. Bitch, I knew if you ever got pregnant that you would do this shit. Well, I want to know. Well, bitch, it ain't up to you. She said, well, for the next 4 months, I'm the daddy. And y'all laughed it off. You end up getting a text message from your husband later on that day. He like, where you at? Where are you? Like, where you at? You not at the house? Where you at? Your mama been trying to call you. You ain't answering. Like, where are you? You ignored the message and continued on about your day. Let's skip ahead a little bit because you actually end up giving birth to a beautiful baby boy that you named Sean at 8 months. The only person that was there for you in the delivery room was your best friend. Oh my God. You have been loving Chicago so much since then that you decided that you was going to make it your residence. You have not talked to your husband. You have not talked to your sister. You have not talked to your mom. You've only talked to a handful of people in your family, but no one knows where you are. Everybody keeps telling you that your husband is looking for you. He asking around. He's trying to see, does anybody know where you is? And ain't nobody telling him nothing. When you end up having baby Sean, you was admitted into the hospital for 3 days. On the 3rd day, it was time for you to get discharged. You was sitting in the room breastfeeding the baby. A knock was at the door. So you like, come in, thinking it's one of the nurses. Why your husband at the hospital? How did he even know that you was there? He looking at the baby, he like, oh my God. He looked just like my mom. What are you even doing here? He was like, I came to see my baby. My babies. That's a dead issue, sir. Thank you, Queen. If you in the Memphis area, me and my kids, we got some treats available. We got candy grapes. We also sell adult treats such as adult cookies, adult cereal bars. Yes, I do deliver, and yes, you can pick up. The price list is posted every single day in my stories. So before we get started, so boom, your husband coming to the hospital room saying that the baby looks just like him. He want his family back. He apologized. He's saying he's sorry. Let me tell you how it all went down. So you telling him like, it really ain't no need. My sister already told me. He was like, no, it's always 2 sides to a story. Just listen. So you standing there ready to push the button to call the nurse to get him to fuck about your room. But you was gonna hear him out. I mean, you have been married to this man for years. So boom. He like the week that y'all spent out on the island, all y'all got drunk at the beachside bar. He like, you remember that? So he goes like, all I remember was we was taking shots back to back to back to back. And then one of the bartenders ended up asking us if we wanted something special. We was on a vacation. We was like having a good time. So we all looked at each other and we said, yeah, do you remember that? He was like, we were fucked up, babe. We were literally damn near toted back to our room. So he like, the escorts that took us back to the room had to have gotten everything mixed up, especially because you and your sister look exactly alike. You tell him like, I see where you going with this, but that still doesn't excuse every other time after that one slip up. Because you're telling me, or she told me, you are the father of her second baby. So he reassuring you, he like, I can't be. He said, I'm not gonna lie to you, baby. It happened at one time and a couple times after that. But around the time that Asia was conceived, he was like, I wasn't messing with her no more. I promise. So you still think that's okay? At this point, you done pushed the button for the nurse now. Can you get somebody to come and get him out of my room? Cause you sick of looking at him. So while he's still in the room, because obviously he gonna wait on security to actually get there, you end up telling him, you can have the house. You can share the house. I don't want nothing from you. I just want a divorce. He says, we're not getting a divorce. You look at him, I'm getting a divorce with or without you. Because we are no longer together. Like, you and baby, y'all coming home with me. You said, I'm his mother. He said, and I'm the father. Say it too. Because according to this birth certificate, ain't no name listed. So boom, you end up ringing for the nurse and asked for security. Security came immediately and ended up escorting your husband out the room. It was so crazy that as he was getting escorted out, your best friend was coming. Because remember, you getting discharged for the day. Y'all, let's get into this next part of finding out that your niece is actually your stepdaughter. But before we get started, I'm going to eat one of our adult cookies. They are $5 a piece all weekend long. Still soft. Looking into it. Okay, so boom, as your husband was getting escorted out by security, your best friend was coming in. So she like, how the fuck did he find out what room you was in? So you like, how the fuck did he find out where I was? She gonna say, okay, I got a confession. You like, who you telling? She was like, I couldn't lie to Mondoose. Mondoose called me saying that she had been calling you. You haven't been answering for. And everybody is worried. They all know that you expect. You've been gone for months. I had to tell her where you was. She must have relayed the message. So you tell her like, I'm grown. You ain't have to tell her anything. She like, sis, come on. Don't put me in the middle of you and your mama. Okay? She like, I'm sorry. I didn't know that she was going to go back and see a dead nigga. I just wanted your mama to know that you was fine. You was up here with me. Okay, so boom, the doctor give you your discharge papers. You are discharged. And y'all decide to go out the emergency room way because your friend said that she saw his car parked up front on the other side. Y'all end up getting in the car. He didn't see y'all. And you end up back at your friend's house. He blew your phone up about an hour later. He must have went up to the room and found out that you had been discharged. But he did not know where your friend stayed. So boom, let's skip ahead a little bit because Sean is 3 months and you was not bullshitting about that divorce. You end up hearing from your lawyer a week ago and they told you that your husband was refusing to sign the papers and that y'all was going to have to go another route. You still hadn't talked to your mama in a little while, but your friend ended up letting you know that she had been like, you know, keeping her updated without telling her where y'all are. Boom, after a little minute, your mama went ahead and called you and you answered on FaceTime. You was laying down with the baby. She said she wanted to see the baby. She hadn't seen her grandson. She wanted to talk to her daughter. Her daughter hasn't been talking to her. Like, she feel like her whole world has fallen apart, especially because you didn't move. You end up telling your mama you felt like you didn't have no family there. There was no need for you to be there. Your sister betrayed you. Your husband betrayed you. And you constantly taking your sister's side, even though she know in her heart that she is fucking wrong. Boom, she bumps out, I ain't seen your husband in months. Somebody said he up there in, Detroit, I believe? She goes, shameless. He looking for you. I wouldn't give a fuck. He needs to sign the divorce papers. So your mama constantly going on and on, which is the reason why you cut her off in the first place. Saying, I can't believe that you let something like this come in between family. Family let my husband come in between their legs. What the fuck you mean? So you end up hanging up the phone with your mama because honestly she was really pissing you off and showing you the reason why you wasn't talking to her. Sean was happy, he was healthy, he was breastfed, and he was spoiled rotten by you and your best friend. Okay, so boom, you taking little baby to the doctor for his check. Remember, you are now a Detroit resident. Or Chicago. I can't remember which one I said, but just keep rolling with it. So as you on your way to the doctor, you end up noticing that a car had been behind you the entire way since you hopped on the interstate. You was playing it off as if you didn't see the person following you, and you went ahead and went into your baby doctor's appointment. Not too long after the doctor put y'all in an exam room, it was a knock at the door. And usually the doctor didn't come this fast. So it was a nurse. She ended up saying, Dad's here. Dad said, who dad? My dad is there. Why the fuck your husband walk in? Like, come on, Shameless. This is my son. I want to be here for these moments. Don't you got 2 other kids for you to be here for? And why the fuck are you following? How the fuck is you finding me? So he like, I'm giving you your space. I ain't popped up at your best friend because I promise you she ain't hard to find out where she lives. I just want to be a part of my son's growing. I want to be a part of his life. Like, he won't even remember you not being here. You can leave. He says, I ain't going nowhere. And you ain't want to cause a scene at your son's doctor's appointment, so you end up just sitting back, scrolling on your phone, and waiting on the doctor to come in. Which she did about 10 minutes later. Baby healthy, baby happy, baby good. Can we skip up a little bit? Because you wasn't going back home, your husband said he ain't going back home either. He gonna stay there as long as it takes to win you back, and you and Sean come home together. So it had been months. At this point, Sean is crawling. He's like 6-7 months. You end up getting a phone call from Toodles, your sister. And you wasn't finna answer the phone because, bitch, what the fuck you want? But the calls were back to back to back to back. And you was thinking something maybe had happened to your mom. So you answer the phone. You like, what's up? Because, bitch, what you ringing my line for? So she goes, I didn't mean to call you. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have called you. But look, I can't find Keith anywhere. I've been calling him. He hasn't been answering. Somebody told me he's either in Detroit or Chicago looking for you. He constantly sending me money, but his presence ain't here. Bitch, is this what you called me for? She was like, well, shit, if he looking for you, maybe he where you at. So you need to pass this message for me. She was like, Toodles, I will literally, Toodles, quit playing with me, sis. And bump out. Heard you had the baby. Congratulations. Then Keith got 3 kids. You hung up the phone before you say something that you will regret. Having a beautiful Sunday. So let's go ahead and get into the next part when you end up finding out that your husband fathers your motherfucking niece. Boom. After all this shit that's going on, your twin sister got the audacity to call you asking you about your husband because he's chasing you and not taking care of his responsibilities. So since you've been in Chicago, honestly, you've been at peace. So you blocked your sister, you blocked your mama, you blocked your husband, and anybody else that was disturbing the peace that you and baby Sean had. So although you was going through a divorce, you always went to this one little coffee shop that wasn't too far from the house, you know, just to get yourself moving because you still wasn't working at this time. You had enough money saved up where you was cushioned for at least another 6 months. So it was this nice looking man who worked at the coffee shop, and you could have sworn he was always flirting with you. For one, he used to give you free stuff, and 2, he remembered your order to a T. And as soon as you walked through the door, it seems like your coffee was always ready. So today was no different. He had your coffee ready for you, and when you was handing him the money to pay, he said no charge. I haven't seen you in a few days. Is everything okay? You tell him everything is fine. I'm just going through life. Woo. Didn't hold too much. Sat down and just enjoyed the fucking morning. Look, Trudy from behind the counter must have had a break because he ended up walking over there standing in front of you saying, can I sit with you? So you smiled at him. You like, yeah. Y'all started talking. He was asking questions. You had a kid. You like, yeah. Y'all talking back and forth with the woo. He ended up telling you that he getting a promotion to become the regional manager of all the coffee shops. And you told him how exciting that must be. So boom. As y'all having y'all casual conversation, bing, the door ended up opening up to the coffee shop. Y'all was still mid-conversation. Then he was like, damn, who is that? So you turned around, your husband staring dead at you walking towards y'all. He get there and he like, who is this? You like, bro, how the fuck did you know I was at the coffee shop? He like, that don't matter. Who is this, your little boyfriend? He like, nah, bro, I work here. He like, I'm gonna let you all right? You like, yeah, I'm cool. So he like, I'm gonna just go back to work. So your husband ego must be in the motherfucking dirt. Like, you got you a little coffee, boy? You left me for a coffee, boy. I left you. You was never the type of woman that liked to cause a public scene. But he want to cause a scene. So, oh no, I left you because you decided that you wanted to my sister, nigga. So, hey, you said that, everybody like, he decided to fuck her sister. What the? Somebody from the drive-thru must have heard you gonna say, City Boys up $1 million. Bitch, ain't shit funny. Tear down this fucking coffee shop. So you like, you need to get from around here. Like, you need to leave me alone. So he walking up a little bit closer to you. He like, nah, you my wife. You need to talk to me, bitch. I'm not talking to you. Thank God some motherfucking police officers end up walking in. And you end up saying, excuse me, officer. This man is bothering me. He came in here yelling all in my face. Everybody can see it. Could you please escort him away from me? Officers, is there a problem, sir? He like, nah, ain't a problem. And walked off and left. A little cruiser walked over there. You know, one from behind the counter. He like, everything, you all right? You like, yeah, I'm cool. And you just walked out, drove your car, you left, you did. When you got in the car, you ended up getting a phone call from the lawyer. You on your way back to your friend's house. She was watching Shane up for you. Your best friend was amazing. Anyway, you got a call from your lawyer. Your lawyer like, you got to come back to the city because you got to see a judge because he got to try to fight this without your husband. And it is possible now. So you ask him when. He tell you next week. You set a day, set a time, and you plan on heading back home. Boom. You and the baby pack up y'all things, y'all board the plane, and y'all head back home. When you got there, you decided to stay with one of your close friends, and you know, she wanted to meet the baby anyway. She still hadn't met him yet. So when you got there, you started telling her that you was coming down here for your divorce. She was like, oh, bitch, we gotta throw you a finally divorce party. Let's get to the day of the motherfucking divorce because you end up going into the judge and the judge granted your divorce without his fucking signature. Bitch, free. Not y'all all in my DM harassing me to give y'all another part of this story. Okay, but let me give you another part of this story. But first, these are my cereal bars of the week. We got the original Rice Krispie cereal bars. The marshmallow on top. I'm gonna eat half. Half. Now let's get into it. While you was back at home, you was staying with one of your close friends at home, but your friend from Chicago called you every day to make sure that you was good. So you end up telling her that your divorce was final. You was able to get the divorce granted without your husband. And she says, bitch, yes. Let me know when you coming back because we're going to throw you a divorce party. So you tell her that you finna put the house up for sale because your husband wasn't at court to fight for anything. You was able to get the house. So you're going to sell it. And plus, your name was the only name on the goddamn deed anyway. So you was going to get it regardless. So you plan on staying at home, back at home for a week to get everything together. Get the house up for sale. Make sure that you got all baby Sean stuff because you're making Chicago your permanent residence. One morning, you end up waking up. That's all you heard at the door. A friend like, who the fuck is that? Like, bitch, I don't know, that's your house. Beating on that motherfucker. Do you hear me? The point where your friend end up grabbing her friend and going to the door. So your friend go to the door like, who is it, twin? Beating on my motherfucking door like that. Yeah, she that friend. She like, twin, what's good? She look out the window. She like, bitch, this your motherfucking ex-husband beating on my motherfucking door. He must don't know that some shells finna touch his ass. So you like, bitch, how the fuck he know I'm here? She was like, hell, I don't know. I ain't told no motherfucking body. So he like, I know you hear me out here. Bitch, open up the door. So your friend like, bitch, you better get away from my door. He started kicking it. Boom, 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 boom. Kicking it hard as fuck. So friend like, hey, what you want me to do? Cause this my shit. Bitch, protect your shit. So your friend yelling through the door. She like, hey, this your final motherfucking warning to get the fuck up off my property. Otherwise, I'm about to protect myself. Boom, boom, boom. He kicked that motherfucker again. He said, tell my motherfucking wife to come outside and bring my motherfucking son. So you get on the phone, you about to call 911. She said, bitch, put that phone down. We don't call police around here. We handle our own shit. All of a sudden, you start hearing glass breaking outside. You look out the window. He is fucking your car the fuck up. Your friend said friend. Friend, you said twin. Handle your business. Why your friend open up that motherfucking door and start dumping? Start dumping at his ass. So he sped off. Y'all go outside, you see little drops of blood speck or what. So he had to have got hit. So you like, bitch, how the fuck did he know I was her? She like, bitch, he might be tracking your ass. Like, this is your second or third time telling me he popped up where you were, even in Chicago. Like, have you checked your car? He was like, no. She like, bitch, check your car. The fuck? So you start checking your car, looking around, everything, nothing. Friend was like, ooh, bitch, I got some. Why your friend go in the house and come outside with a metal detector? Friend, what the fuck you been doing? Looking for treasure? You start using it, jump beep, 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 beep. What the fuck? Right here by your gas pedal. You feeling around up under there, you looking around, you feel something up under your brake. Why the fuck this a tracking device under your fucking brake? You end up going down to the police station a little later on that day, and you end up filing a restraining order against your ex-husband. You end up showing them the tracking device that was in your car, and you also end up showing them pictures that your car was fucking vandalized. They granted your restraining order a couple days later, and they end up putting a warrant out for his arrest for vandalism. So this was your last day at home, and you decided to go to one of your favorite restaurants because you knew that they didn't have that motherfucker in Chicago. So when you end up getting to the restaurant, you and baby Sean end up going in. You sat at your favorite table because it was available, and you got your favorite waitress. She's like, bitch, where you been? You was like, I moved to Chicago. They like, when? So she was like, hold on, bitch, let me catch a break because we got some catching up to do. You start talking to her about everything that's been going on, not too much, but just enough. And telling her that you moved to Chicago, woo, and she wish you luck, and you didn't have to pay for your food today. So, as you was about to get up to leave, your sister ended up walking through the door with her kids. So she must have spotted you before you spotted her, because she was like, oh, there go my twin, hey, twin. There go my twin, hey, twin. Bitch. You trying to keep it cute. You trying to keep it classy. What you do? Walk right past the bitch like she wasn't even there. She was like, oh, so you don't see me? Bitch, I don't see trash. No, I don't. I don't see garbage. No, I don't. I definitely don't see hoes. No, I don't. Fuck you mean? So she was like, bitch, at the end of the day, we still sisters. I don't give a fuck, twin. I'm good on you. Like, how's life in Chicago? You kept walking because, bitch, we are not having no fucking conversation. And you went to your car. So after that run-in with Toodles and that bullshit with your ex-husband, you felt like it was time for you and Sean to get up out of there and go back to Chicago. So you went ahead on your phone and booked y'all an early flight back. So it was done. You and baby Sean flight was booked for like 9 a.m. in the morning. So, of course, you know you got to be at the airport early, baby. Atlanta airport. Let's not talk about it. So you end up waking up around 6 o'clock in the morning to make sure that, you know, y'all was ready to go. Okay? So, boom, y'all end up getting there around 6:30, 6:45. Your friend dropped you off or dropped y'all off on her way to work. She was really sad to see you go because she really wanted you to stay, but she understood that you couldn't. So, as you're going through TSA, your phone ring. You end up answering it. It was the police officer that was working the case for your ex-husband. He ended up telling you that they looked more into the tracking device and saw that it was one of 3. There was 2 more unaccounted for. So you end up telling him, like, you don't know where they could be, but then you thought about it. You was like, well, he have been finding me, which is really weird when out here in Chicago. I don't even know how he know where I am when he pops up. Like, he ain't from there. Police was like, maybe you should look into it when you get back to Chicago. You like, well, maybe I will. So, boom. You finna get ready to get on your flight. All of a sudden, you start hearing, please don't go. Please don't go. Why the fuck your ex-husband at the fucking airport with a fucking speaker bumping tank? Girl. So you standing in the line trying to act like you don't even know the man. He's arm in a sling, so he definitely got hit. He like, baby, please. Baby, please don't do this to me. Who told you that I was finna go? Who told you that I was leaving? How do you know this? So you like, bro, you supposed to be like over 100 yards away from me. Like, I would call the police and get you arrested down here. They already looking for you. So one of the off-duty officers or something ended up coming, like, is this man bothering you? Told him yes, and he got a warrant out for his arrest. Take it there. So all you know is they end up holding him long enough for you and baby Sean to get on the plane and take y'all way back to Chicago, where your best friend was right there waiting on you to land. She's like, bitch, yes, now we can finally throw this damn divorce party. Like, I'm so happy you back. I'm so happy you back. Having you put the stuff in the car. You putting the baby in the car. You're like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So on the way home or whatever, you like, bitch, some shit happened down there. She like, what? So you start telling her everything that happened while you were gone, about your ex-husband and the kicking Kiara door. She like, girl, you put a restraining order? Yes, bitch. Yes, a restraining order. Yes, I did. And guess what? She like, what, bitch? What? A tracking device. It was a tracking device in my car that I left back at home. So let's fast forward a little bit, because when you end up getting back to your friend's house, some shit starting to dawn on you. Because remember, the police officer had already told you that it was one of 3 tracking devices that was found. Where are the other 2? But you got to looking. But you got to looking. You got to looking everywhere around the car that you had in Chicago. You bought you a car up there. Are you looking? You can't find it. You don't see it, nothing. You like, we can't be in here. So your friend like, bitch, look under the car. Look under your tie. Look outside the car. So you got to look at outside the car. Why was the tracking device up under your car? Why? So you like, there's 2. Where is the other one? So you like, how would he know where my car is? Bitch, you start playing detective. How would he know where my car is? The day he popped up at the hospital when you had the baby. You went looking into the baby shit. Bitch, you went in the house, you went to rambling through the baby shit, all through the baby shit. You end up going to the diaper bag that the baby had that you've been using since he got out of the, well, since he was in the hospital. It was your, you know, your baby bag. Why was it a tracking device in your baby bag up on that little part that come out at the bottom? Why? Girl. So you go back to the porch where your friend and the baby at. You hold both of them bitches up. You like this. Bitch. This is how he knew where I was. What? Girl, when you found out your husband had 2 kids with your sister, you was fucking devastated. But over the next couple years, you got your life back. So after you end up figuring out and confirming that your husband and your sister had 2 kids together, meaning they had an affair, you divorced your husband, you sold y'all house, and you moved to Chicago. We're going to fast forward a little bit, because over the next couple years, your life was very peaceful. Sean was about 2 years old. You was part owner of that coffee shop that you love so much. And Chicago has just become home to you. You had finally got you a little boo. Yup, the little Curtis from the coffee shop. Y'all work together. And you found yourself the Curtis house that just so happened to have a peach tree a couple years ago. And you've been there for a while. So you didn't really care to hear anything about your family back home, because you had created a new home for you and your baby. But what you did hear is that your ex-husband did do a year in jail. Him and your sister's actually living together now, and they are expecting their 3rd child. But that didn't stop your ex-husband from trying to pursue you in any way that he possibly could. But you weren't going, and your boo wasn't playing about you. So one day, you out for lunch with baby Sean and the cutie from the coffee shop, and you end up getting a phone call from your friend Kiara back home. She ended up telling you that your grandmama was really sick and she was in the hospital. You should hurry and come and see her. You and your grandma had a special kind of relationship, because for a few years she raised you and your sister while y'all mama got her life together. She had been sick for a while, and for the last couple years you had been taking care of all her bills to make sure that she wasn't stressed. Although you wasn't at home, you wanted to make sure that your grandmama was okay. So when you hung up the phone with your friend Kiara, you started crying. Your boyfriend asked you, are you okay? Is everything okay? What's going on? You end up telling him no, that your grandmama is very sick and that you need to go home. He says, whatever you need to do, you know, I'm with it. I'm going to go with you. You like, are you sure? You know, you've never met my family before. It's like, well, guess I'm about to meet your family. Now, you and your boyfriend had a very close relationship, and you did open up to him about everything that happened between your husband and your sister, the estranged relationship you got with your mama And he has like been a rock for you. So having him there for support is pretty comforting. By the time the check came, your man had already got 3 tickets on a flight for tonight. He was able to catch some last minute tickets. Y'all didn't have time to go home. He said, don't worry about it. We'll get some clothes when we get. So y'all end up boarding the flight. Y'all got back home. Y'all end up getting a hotel room this time, because this time you came with your new boo. So you rushed to the hospital to check on grandma. And when you got there, your mama was in the room. First thing she said was, look what the cat drug in. The daughter that thinks she's too much for her mama. The daughter that thinks that she's too much for her family. Oh, wow. Look at her walking through the door thinking that she is the queen. But I am a queen. I came here to see my grandma. I did not come here for none of this. So you walked over to the side of the bed to be on your grandmama's side, ignoring everything else your childish ass mama was screaming out. So you grabbed your grandmama's hand and started to say your prayer. By the time the prayer was done, you end up hearing the hospital door open. It was your sister. Because she was like, oh, look who's back from the dead. And before you could give any response, thank God, your man ended up walking through the door with the baby. He was parking. So your mama like, oh, that's why you left your husband? Because you had your little hanky-panky going on in Chicago? Why the fuck is y'all acting like y'all don't know what the fuck happened? Y'all about to make me get loose in this motherfucking hospital room. But again, your man, very confident. He like, nah, I'm her man. I'm here to take care of her. I'm making sure that she good. Y'all need to leave her alone. This is not the time or the place at all. So your sister like, oh, he got some balls. He said, big balls. So he like, yeah, big balls. Go find y'all somebody to play with, because this ain't the family. You smiling in the inside. Your sister bump out, well, my husband will be here soon, not my boyfriend. Oh, your mama, shady as fuck. He got a real woman now to know how to treat. Got a real woman now to know how to have kids out the ass. Her sister was showing a little bit too. So you like, you know what? I don't have time for this. You end up calling a doctor. Because what your mama and your sister did not know is that you had power of attorney over your grandma. So you went politely to ask them to have them escorted out of the room. They did go out kicking and fucking screaming. So your boyfriend comes over there to console you. He started rubbing your back. He rubs your neck. He kisses your cheek, letting you know that he is here. He is not going anywhere. Your grandma is going to be just fine. God has his eyes on her. It's one thing you loved about him. He was a God-fearing man. Not even 10 minutes later, your sister comes back with your ex-husband and the police, saying that you are forcing her out of her grandmama's room. So they start asking all these questions. The only thing you did while scrolling quietly is pulling out that power of attorney on PDF. Yeah, I don't want them in here. And they couldn't do shit but leave. Your ex-husband like, who is this? Because he seen him holding the baby. Oh, man, you done got so big. You done got so big. He went and hid, your son went and hid behind your boyfriend. He was like, that's my son. That pissed him off. Your boyfriend like, nah, nigga, that's my son. Oh, I like him. What your man say? Babe, I'm a big dog. Quit playing with him. Let's get into the next part. So your ex-husband going off. He like, that's my motherfucking son. That's my blood. Your boyfriend, calm as ever, like, since when does blood make you family? So your husband constantly screaming and shit. Your man, calm as fuck. He was like, bro, I think you need to leave, bro. Because obviously you came up here real hostile. This is not the time or the place. Because if we was anywhere else, I would have laid your punk ass out. Man, don't yell at me, bro. I ain't your motherfucking son. He said, yeah, my son's standing behind you. Standing behind his daddy. For real. For sure. Facts. Like, so what you been in his life for a little minute? He said, actually, I've been in his life for a year and a half. He started calling me dad around, what, 1 year old? My beautiful woman said it's okay. So, yeah, that's mine right there. So your husband started walking up towards your man. Your man still standing there calm as fuck, hands just like this. He said, man, this ain't the place, bro. Her grandma right over there laying there. This ain't it, man. I'm not finna do this in here with you. So your husband bump out. Yeah, cause you a bitch ass nigga. You can start seeing the veins come out of your man's neck. He wanna touch him so motherfucking bad. Thank God. The police tried to calm down the situation. He like, hey, you need to get up out of this room. Keep in mind, grandma and fucking IC, her monitor started going. But he like, this trifling ass bitch in her, and this puss ass little boy won't let me see my son. So the police officer like, bro, you need to leave, sir. You need to leave. You are disturbing the peace, sir, and we're not gonna ask you again. So he like, I ain't going no motherfucking word. So they started putting handcuffs on him, baby. He was resisting arrest to the point where they end up having to pepper spray his ass and club him down. So Toodles bump out. See, you coming here disturbing the peace. Did nobody ask you to come back down here? You could have stayed where you were. Bitch, I didn't come here for you. And you can leave and you can follow your nothing ass man and go bail him out of jail. She was like, that's why did nobody never like you. I don't give a fuck. I'm happy. You don't ever have to like me. You don't ever have to see you. You don't ever have to talk ever again a day in our fucking lives. Bitch, I don't give a fuck about you. Goodbye. Your man standing right next to you like, man, y'all ain't gonna do shit to Shawty. Y'all can roll. Y'all ain't doing shit to her in here. She in here consoling her grandma. Police got everything out. Everything was quiet. And you was able to sit beside your grandmama and read her favorite chapter of the Bible to her, which was Psalms. So maybe a couple hours had passed by. You end up dozing off, and your man, he was right there beside you. When y'all woke up, Sean was still asleep. He ended up asking you if you wanted something from the cafeteria. He went down to the cafeteria, and not even a couple minutes later, the doctors end up coming in. Doctors end up telling you that it's not looking too good for your grandmama, and honestly, they're going to give her a good 2 weeks to live. This devastated you. Your man ended up coming back with your food. By this time, you was on hands and knees in front of your grandmama's bed, crying. Real tears. Guess what your man did? He set that food down and he got behind you and he prayed with you, wiping your tears every time one fell. That's going to be your husband and you know it. You end up telling your boyfriend everything that the doctor said, and you end up telling him that you was going to stay here for 2 weeks. And it's okay. He can go back home. He tell you now. If you stay in 2 weeks, he stay in 2 weeks too. A couple days went by and it was quiet. You didn't hear from your mama. You didn't hear from your sister. But somebody did continue to call you from a fucking private number at least 30 times a fucking day. So, you know, the boo from the coffee shop. He was trying to get you to go back to the hotel room to sleep in a bed because he could tell that you were very tired. He had been sleeping on the side of your grandmama's bed for about 5 days at this. He like, babe, you need a hot shower. You need a bed. You need to rest. Not right now, baby. And he understood that. He ended up telling you that him and the baby, Sean, was going to go back to the hotel for a little while to get some rest. And you said, you know, I understand. Can you bring me some more clothes? He was like, of course. Gave you a kiss on your forehead, then a kiss on your nose, then a kiss on your lips. And you gave the baby a kiss. And they walked out. About 2 minutes later, you start hearing a lot of commotion outside of the motherfucking highway, which made you end up getting, you start hearing shit falling, banging, people just yelling, and you heard your man's voice. That made you pop up. By the time you got in the highway, why your man fighting your ex-husband, your boyfriend on top of your ex-husband, yeah, bitch ass nigga, pop, 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 pop. I mean, beating the hell out of him too. Security trying to calm your man down. The police trying to calm your man down. He is not getting off of your ex-husband for shit. You touch his shoulder. You like, babe. Baby, when you can calm down a monster. Okay? He like, man, I'm pushing the elevator. This nigga get off the motherfucking elevator, baby. I'm trying to take Sean to the house to get him some rest. Take him a bath, change his clothes and shit. Feed him. And this bitch ass nigga getting in my way trying to talk shit, pissing me the fuck off. He said, what did it for me? Why when bro got off the elevator, he decided to bump me and step on my motherfucking shoes and call me a bitch? I ain't no hoe ass nigga. I don't know who the fuck he think I am. But I'm from the motherfucking shot. Quit playing with me. God damn. I turned myself. You tell the police, no. Like, you ain't finna arrest my man. Now you about to argue with the police because he still got a restraining order against him and he don't supposed to be nowhere where the fuck I am. So guess what he got? Arrested a fucking year. Obviously, ex-husband ain't learning his... Your boyfriend? Nah, he went on to the house with the baby and you went back into your grandmama's room and continue out your peaceful fucking evening. 15 minutes later, you end up getting a FaceTime from your boyfriend. He did let you know that they had made it to the house and that he was running, showing some bath water. And he just wanted to tell you that he loves you, everything that comes with you. He is never leaving you, and you're going to be his wife. And he can't wait, and neither can you. Cousin, I need $10,000 in 72 hours. Ain't nothing off limits. Put that shit in the comments. let's get back into this story. Because when you found out your sister had 2 kids with your now ex-husband, bitch, you were devastated. But you got your life back. So your boyfriend ended up leaving the hospital with the baby, you know, to take him back to the hotel room to get him cleaned up, get him fed, and just pretty much get him out of the hospital scene. He ended up giving you a call about maybe like an hour later, ended up telling you that Sean was still asleep, but he was supposed to bring you some clothes. You end up telling him, you know, don't worry about it. Don't wake him up. Y'all could just stay at the hotel tonight. I'll go up to the dollar store that's not too far away from the hospital. I walk up there and give me some change of clothes. Like, are you sure? You're like, yeah, I'm sure. He was like, you still got my credit card? You like, yeah. He was like, just use that. So you leave the hospital and you proceed to walk down to the dollar store. You got to the dollar store, you got you some change of clothes, you got you some extra little zoom-zooms and wham-whams, because you weren't finna keep on buying that high-ass food from the cafeteria in the hospital. When you was walking back to the hospital, again, a short little walk, you end up hearing somebody skirt stop behind you, pulling over on the side of the street. So that made you look back. Bitch, your sister and her friends jumped you. Girl, got out that motherfucking collar. What's up now, bitch? What's up now, bitch? You got my motherfucking husband sent to jail and proceeded to jump you. It was 4 of them hoes. You handled one. You beat the fuck out your sister. Couple cars that was driving up the street must have seen what was going on, and a couple people ended up pulling over and was able to break up, you know, them jumping you or whatever. Somebody must have snuck around somebody, because one of the friends ended up coming around with a motherfucking bat and hitting you so motherfucking hard in the stomach you couldn't even get up to walk. One of the people who pulled over on the side of the road was kind enough to drive you back to the emergency room. And one person stayed to try and wait on the police, but of course your sister and her friends end up driving off. When you got into the hospital, whatever, they end up taking you straight to the ER because you was bleeding. And, you know, you was a little banged up, I ain't gonna lie. Boom, you sitting in the motherfucking ER, bitch, mad as fuck, sitting on that hospital bed, trying to figure out how you gonna get each one of these hoes one by one, because them bitches got you so fucked up. So as you was trying to leave from the ER to go back up there to where your grandma was, one of the nurses ended up meeting you, and she was like, oh, are you leaving? You like, yeah, my grandma is upstairs in ICU. I need to be by her side. You know what I'm saying? She's like, you know, are you okay? You like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just a little banged up. She's like, well, you were bleeding, and I don't know if you know or not, but you're pregnant. What? Yeah, you're about 5 to 6 weeks along. What? We need to do an ultrasound to make sure that the baby is okay. What? Pregnant? Me? She smiled. She's like, yes, ma'am. You. Now your mind went from wanting to beat the fuck out these bitches to making sure that your goddamn baby is okay. Because you're pregnant with a baby that you was like, but I had my period. Like, it probably was just implantation bleeding. I'm pregnant. She was like, yes, ma'am, you are. So then the nurse goes, I ordered an ultrasound for you, and if it's okay, I would like for you to stay to make sure that baby is okay. So you end up asking her, can I get an update on my grandma who's in ICU? She was like, yeah, I'll get somebody to give you some information momentarily or whatever. So boom, a few minutes went by. One of the doctors ended up coming by telling you that, you know, your grandma is still stable and she's okay for now. Eventually, the ultrasound tech ended up coming to get you. You did an ultrasound, and it was confirmed that you are pregnant, bitch, and your baby is fine. But while they doing the ultrasound, you FaceTime your man, because this is how you going to announce it to him, because, bitch, what? I'm surprised, nigga. You going to be surprised, too. So you end up FaceTiming your man, girl, with the damn camera towards the screen. He like, hello? He like, babe. You like, surprise, surprise. He like, that's us? This us. You finna have my baby. It looks like it. Oh, you finna have my motherfucking seed. I knew it. You knew it. He was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna lock you down. You tried to, and did. He gonna say, surprise, surprise. We got 2. Anyway, so they did the ultrasound for a little minute. The whole time you got your man on the phone, and they end up hitting y'all with another surprise, letting you know that you was pregnant with 3 babies at one time. That mind said, I got super sperm. God damn, I went from a father of 1 to now I'm gonna be a father of 4. 3 kids. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 babies in here? 3. Count them out. Dr. A, B, C. You end up leaving out the ultrasound room and you headed back upstairs to ICU to your grandma. And you was still on the phone with your boyfriend the whole time, but you had never turned the camera around because you did have a black eye. One of the bitches ended up punching you in your face. You didn't want him to see it. So he was like, babe, you know why you ain't got the camera? He was like, turn the camera around. I want to see your beautiful face. I want to celebrate this with you. So you end up turning the camera around. What the fuck happened to your face? So boom, you had to tell baby what happened. So you end up telling him what happened with your sister and your friend. Like, did you call the police? Did you tell the police anything? You tell him not. Like, cool, keep it that way. Send me your sister address. You like, babe, you not finna. He was like, nah, I ain't finna go do nothing. He was like, you know, I told you I got 2 sisters that stay down here, right? So you like, yeah. He like, hold on. So he ended up FaceTiming his 2 sisters, which you have met them before on FaceTime. So he ended up telling his sisters that he down there, and basically ended up telling his sisters now what happened. They end up asking for your sister address, and you like, well, my sister pregnant. One of his sisters said, shit, and so are you. And so are you. Her face ain't pregnant, right? So you laugh, you like, nah. She was like, send the Addy. So you end up giving them your sister address. About an hour later, she end up FaceTiming you like this. She was like, this that bitch. And your sister laying on the ground, face bloody as fuck. She was like, don't nobody fuck with our folks. Bitch, you don't know where we from, fucking Chiraq around here. I mean going in. She was like, you straight now, sis. You good? And hung up the phone. Then, why the fuck your mama tried to come to the damn hospital acting a fool about what happened to your sister? The nerve of her. Your man ended up coming back up to the hospital not too long after you end up hanging up with his sisters, along with the baby, because he had said Sean was up and he was missing his mama. And so was he. He actually was there in the, update or progress on grandma. You like, grandma's still in an induced coma right now. They still saying, she got about a week left. It's not really looking too good, but they trying everything that they can or whatever. So he like, mine, them bitches that hit my motherfucking baby in the face, just feeling on you. He was like, but you okay though, right? They okay, babe? Yes, they fine. He was like, my sister and them finna get ready and come up here. They came and got me from the hotel and shit. So you like, oh, they met my baby? He said yes, and they fucking adore him. Your baby ran over there to you, gave you the biggest mommy hug ever, and not too long after, your sister-in-law ended up coming in. One of your sister-in-law, you knew she was very bubbly because y'all met on FaceTime. She's like, oh my God, finally my brother's gonna give me a niece or a nephew. So you and your man, y'all look at each other. He gonna say maybe some nieces or nephews. Nieces or nephews? She was like, you finna have twins? Triplets? Bitch, no. Bitch, yes. It's like, oh my God, damn brother, when you did it, didn't it? Everybody in the room started laughing. So she was like, I don't mean to pry or nothing, but I think I got the right, because we did just go over there and handle some business for you, but like, what's going on with you and your sister? Like, why would your sister do that? So you had to go into the whole motherfucking spiel about why you and your sister beefing and shit. She like, bitch, you a good one. She was like, I ain't gonna even lie to you. If I ever in life found out that my sister messed with my husband and they got kids together, she said, girl, I will be on first 48 trying to plead my case. This other sister, we'll name her Shantae. She was kind of quiet. So she like, girl, that's so fucked up. I would never do my sister like that. I can't believe, somebody would do you like that. You seem like you such a good person. She was like, I ain't really just met you in person, but, over the phone, you seem like you a great person. My brother loves you. Your son looks well taken care of. You can tell that he loved, and the way that you up here with your grandmama, you gotta have a good heart. She was like, but it's okay. Her karma gonna come back and get her. The other sister, we gonna name her Chantel. Shantae and Chantel. Chantel like, gee, bitch, we is karma. So boom, like not too long after that, y'all mid conversation or whatever. You weren't really expecting nobody else, and they were like, hello, and it was your friend Kiara. She was like, what's up, bitch? And she saw your face. She was like, what the fuck happened to your face? And you end up telling her what happened. Your sister jumped you. She was like, bitch. So she like, bitch, why would Toodles do that? And your man, sister, like, it really don't matter why the fuck would she do that. She did it. And she was like, and who was you? Her sister. And the room got quiet. So I'm in conversation. One of the nurses coming there to check on your grandmama, try to take some blood and get her some medicine, her IV. You like, what's this? She was like, well, this is her insulin. What she need that for? And she started explaining, what was going on there. All of a sudden, you start hearing, where the fuck she at? Where the fuck that little bitch at? I know the fuck she ain't sent nobody to jump my motherfucking daughter. Where the fuck she at? You knew it was your mama because the immature ass bitch voice sounded very fucking familiar. So she come busting in the motherfucking room like her mother is not laying right here in the fucking hospital bed fighting for her fucking life. Saying, little bitch, you sent some motherfuckers over there to jump on my motherfucking daughter? Your motherfucking daughter and her friends jumped on me. Said, I don't give a fuck. So one of his sisters ended up standing up and said, well, we don't give a fuck either. Get the fuck up out of here. So she was like, bitch, who was you? She was like, I'll show you who a bitch is. So now they kind of going back and forth. So your man ended up standing up and the doctors ended up coming in. And your man like, hey, man, you need to get the fuck up out this room. She was like, who was you to tell me what to do? He said her motherfucking protector, her man, her king, her provider, the one who gonna stand beside her and in front of her. You need to leave. So she was like, nah, I need to know what happened. I need to know what happened. So he said, go ask the daughter that you up here defending. Don't come at mine like that. My deuce. Don't come at mine like that. Because it's going to be a problem. This is my family right here. And his sister stood up. So what's it going to be? So she like, so she got you motherfuckers. Who is y'all? Her bodyguard? He said, I already told you who I am. Ain't no need for me to repeat it. You need to get the fuck up out of here. His sister said, you heard what my brother said, didn't it? You need to get the fuck up out of here. She left. Before she left, though, she ended up saying, well, your sister is downstairs in the emergency room if you want to go and check on her. It's something wrong with both of their ass. Fast forward a little bit, cousin. Because, unfortunately, your grandma did end up passing away a couple days after everything ended up happening. And now you're making funeral arrangements. And you're not 100% sure if you want your mama or your sister to come, because them bitches come with too much fucking drama. Cousin, I'm back. And I got another part to the story. Because once you end up leaving the hospital after your grandma ended up passing away, you went back to the hotel room, you, baby, and Sean, and you were really sad for the next couple days. But you had to go over your grandma's house to kind of go through her stuff to see where everything was. Because your grandma did tell you once before that she had everything in a shoebox at the top of her closet. So at this point, y'all time at the hotel was up. So you end up telling baby, like, let's just go stay at grandma's house for the next few days. Because he had received a phone call from back home telling him that, you know, something was going on with the store and that he needed to come back and meet. Of course, he told them, like, there was a death in his family and that he can't come back right now, but give him a couple days and both of us will be back by then. Y'all do know we running a coffee shop in Chicago, right? Okay. So on the way over to grandmama's house, you telling your man that you really don't want to invite your sister or your mama because they come with so much motherfucking drama. And he was like, well, who can blame you if you don't? Just don't invite them. But you like, babe, but you know, that's her mama and that's her grandmama too. He was like, they ain't give a fuck about none of that when they was coming in their hospital room causing all that motherfucking drama. Like, she probably heard that too. So you like, I don't know. He was like, look, babe, I don't need them upset my kids. And he do too much. He was like, I don't need them upsetting my babies. I want you to be at peace. I want my babies to be good. I want you to be good. And if bringing them around is not good for you, then it's just not good for you, baby. You don't have to do it. So, boom. Y'all end up pulling up at grandma's house or whatever, and you end up going into her room. So, boom, y'all end up making it to grandmama's house, and as soon as you walk through your grandmama door, you immediately got sad because the house smelled exactly like you remember. The house smelled exactly like some apple cinnamon and some motherfucking paprika. It smelled good as fuck in there. You start looking around, you start seeing baby pictures of you and your sister. You start seeing pictures when y'all was growing up. Because keep in mind, from the age of 5 to like 15, you were in and out of your grandmama's house. Your mama was getting her life together, so y'all was always back and forth. So you go into your grandma's room, you go in her closet, and you look at the top of her closet for the shoebox that she told you was up there. It was a lot of shoeboxes and a lot of fucking church hats up there. But you finally found the right one, and when you pulled the shoebox down, it was a letter for you, and it said, Sonny. So you take the shoebox and the letter back in the living room where your man and your baby is, and you sit on the couch and you sit it on the table. He like, is that from your grandma? You like, yeah, this is the shoebox with everything in it, but I didn't know that she wrote me a letter. And you holding up the letter. He was like, are you going to open it? You like, I don't know. He was like, maybe you should. So you sit there for a minute. You go in the kitchen. You get yourself some water. You standing there and you drink it. And you finally come back out and you go ahead and you open up the letter. So the letter goes, Dear Sonny, I always hated the nickname Shameless, and your mom should be ashamed for giving you that. Sonny fits you better. If you're reading this letter, I am back with my father, and I hope that you are okay. I understand my departure was not something that you was looking forward to, but it was something that I was needing. I was hurting and I was in pain, but now I'm okay. I'm leaving you my last will and testament because I know that you will honor my wishes with grace. I also left you $150,000 for you and your beautiful baby boy. If you ever have any other children, please share the great memories of your life, not the trauma. You are a wonderful woman. I know that you will be an amazing mother, and I can't wait to see you be a great wife from beyond the skies. Thank you for being Sunny. Thank you for being my sunshine, and thank you for being my beautiful granddaughter. Love, Granny. So you end up opening up the box. And you did end up seeing your grandmama's last will and testament along with her life insurance policy, and you were the beneficiary on everything. Your mom was your grandmama's only daughter, and she didn't leave her shit. While you was reading your grandma's last will and testament, you end up seeing that your grandma said that she would rather be cremated than put in a burial plot. And, of course, you're going to honor your grandmama's wishes. So, boom. Even though Granny is going to be cremated, you decided that you wanted to give your grandmother a funeral still because your grandma was a Christian woman and she was a pillar in her community. Everybody loved Granny. So, her church home said, of course, you can have the funeral there. They would love to say they last goodbyes to her, and that's exactly what you decided to do. You end up calling some of your friends, some of your family. Your friend from Chicago had flew down. Your friend Kiara had came by, and they started to ask you, was you going to invite your sister and your mom? You told them no. So they tried to talk you out of it, saying that at the end of the day, y'all still a family. And you said, and at the end of the day got to end, and I don't have time for their drama. All of a sudden, it's a knock at your grandmama. Don't nobody know you at grandmama's house but the people that you done told, which is most of the people that's in that house. So you end up going to the door, you open it up again, it's a storm door in between, and it's your sister. She was like, we should talk. Bitch, we're beyond talking. I need $10,000 in 24 hours. Ain't shit off limits. Put it in the comments. Let's go ahead and get into this next part, because after you found out that your twin sister had an affair with your husband, well, ex-husband now, and now they got 3 kids together, that you were devastated. But guess what? You getting your life back. So after your grandma end up passing away, you, your man, and your son end up deciding to go and stay at your grandmama's house. So while you, your man, and a couple of your friends at your grandmama's house, while you getting everything together, your sister end up coming over there. Yes, bitch. Your twin sister who just jumped you with her friends, the one who slept with your husband, ex-husband, the fuck, and the one who got kids by him. Yes, she came to your grandmama's house. So she at the door. She like, we really should talk. I really want to talk. I think we should talk. So you like, how did you even know I was her? So she ended up telling you, Kiara, the bitch sitting right there on the couch. So you look at Kiara and you was like, why would you invite her here? Kiara was like, that's your sister. I really think that y'all should talk. That's your family. Family, no, she's not my family. Blood don't make you family. We are relatives. Sister like, that's how you feel, sis? Like, I'm your sister. You're not my sister. My sister would never do that to me. So you end up telling Kiara that you need to go, because obviously you don't have my best interest at heart. So she's like, no, I just really hate seeing y'all go through this. Well, this is something for us to go through. This is not your place. You see your man sitting over there waiting for anybody to get out of line. Other than that, he letting you handle it. So Kiara's like, well, I can see I'm not wanted. I'm gonna go ahead and leave. But I still think that you should talk to her shameless. Don't call me shameless. My name is Sunny. Boom. You step outside to go ahead and hear what the fuck this trifling ass female got to say. So she goes in straight saying, I'm sorry. I apologize. This never should have happened. I've been feeling this little ache in my heart for quite some time, and I know it's because I hurt you, sis, and I'm sorry. I never meant for things to go far with said. I never meant to fall in love with said, and I damn sure didn't mean to have kids with said. And most of all, I'm sorry I lied to you about it. So she like, I know it'll take some time, but I would really love if you would accept my apology. Girl, please. So you standing there with a very nonchalant look on your face, because at this point, you told her no. I can't forgive you. No, we're not sisters. No, we can't make amends. It's too late for all that now. So your sister like, we'll always be blood though, but that don't make us family. And you can get away from this porch. She like, sis, please, I'm sorry. So then she tries to go into a whole spiel telling you that Cedric done lost his job, his business ain't doing as good as it needs to because he's consistently going to jail. He took a lot of time off when he was up there in Chicago looking for you, and that her and the kids could really use some financial help. So you like, what, you too good for government assistance or something? She's like, shame, it's not shameless. Call me Sonny. She was like, Sonny, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I jumped you. I'm sorry I slept with him. I'm sorry I lied. I'm sorry. Jayla misses her auntie. You tell your sis, look, Jayla will always have an auntie in me. If she needs me when she gets older, she can call me. But me and you, we're done. And the next time you hear from me, you'll be hearing from me through my lawyer. So she like, yo lawyer? What you mean, yo lawyer? She was like, you getting the law involved now? What if I call the police and tell them that you sent some folks over there to jump me and I'm clearly pregnant? I didn't send anybody over there to jump you. I literally do not know what the fuck you talking about. I don't know what you done had going on down here in the A. I ain't sent nobody to jump you. She was like, Sonny, look, I didn't come over here to fight. I tried to come over here to make amends. I wanted to come over here and apologize. I didn't come over here for this. You shouldn't have come over here at all. She was like, so why would I be hearing from your lawyer? Can you tell me that? Yeah, I'm suing you for pain and suffering. And I'm also pressing charges against you for attempted M. Attempted M? Girl, all we did was jump you. I almost lost my babies because of you bitches. Your sister like, yo babies? You went in the house and you closed the door because there was nothing else to be said. You hear her ass screaming outside, and I'm coming to my fucking grandmama's funeral. You can't keep me from my fucking grandma's funeral. I'm coming. Mama coming. We coming. That's our family too. Cousin, I need $10,000 by the end of the day. Ain't none off limits. Put that shit in the comments. Let's go ahead and get into the next part, because when you found out your sister had kids with your now ex-husband, bitch, you were devastated. But you left. You went to Chicago and you got your fucking life back. It was the day of your granny's funeral, and emotionally, you wasn't having it. You didn't have time for your sister or your mama's bullshit, which is why you did not invite them. But of course, you knew that they was going to end up coming. Your granny was carried away in a way that she deserved, with a horse and a carriage. She also requested that everybody wear white to celebrate her life, not to tell her goodbye. You end up pulling up to the church. You end up seeing that your granny was a pillar of the community, and they loved her. It was so many people outside standing, waiting to greet y'all, to tell y'all how much they loved your grandma and how much she helped them with their life. It was a woman with 2 children that let you know that your granny housed her and her 2 children until she got her life together, and she could never thank her enough for doing it. Girl, so look, you walking up the stairs to get into the church, all you hear is, lady, don't you know that a dear mama, from up the motherfucking street. So you turn around, it's your childish ass mom and your dumb ass sister and her nasty ass husband pulling up at the funeral, hopping out with all black on. Why everybody else got on white and they the only ones with black? You tell me. So your mama hop out the car. Oh, mama, just being so extra, knowing she didn't even love her mama like that. I can't believe you gone. No, Lord, just really pretty much making a whole scene. Your man put his hand on your shoulder and just go ahead and guide you in the church because you don't have time emotionally for that bullshit. Y'all go ahead and y'all grab y'all seats. They end up sitting next to y'all, but you didn't pay them no never mind. Besides your mama little outburst throughout the funeral, everything actually went quite well, surprisingly. So you and your man, you know, little cutie from the coffee shop, y'all are potty training Sean. So you had his hand out the church and y'all was walking out, and he ended up saying, Dad, I gotta pee. Ex-husband was right behind y'all, and you can hear him say, I'm so sick of her letting this nigga be my son's dad. That's my motherfucking son. You hear your sister tell him, and you give a fuck about this shit? You got 3 motherfucking kids. You got another daughter on the way. He was like, but that's my motherfucking son. That's what you not understanding, Toodle. Boom, you hear your sister, well, I think she finna have some babies by him. What? Who? My wife? Your wife. That ain't your fucking wife no more. You ignoring all this shit, but you can hear them talking behind you. So your man, you know, little cutie from the coffee shop, he whispered in your ear, he said, just keep walking. I'm finna take Sean to the bathroom. Boom, bitch, you go outside, you standing in front of the church doors and shit. Your ex-husband walk over there to you like he got the right to. He like, you pregnant? You finna have some kids? You look at him. That ain't none of your business. What I got going on, your business is right there. So your sister like, right? Mind your fucking business. So he goes, she got my son. That is my business. You like, hey man, mine, don't worry about me. Worry about my sister. That's where you chose to be. You worry about that. In front of your sister, he goes, I'm with her because you didn't want me. I only slept with her because I was drunk. And the other time, he said I was vulnerable. Vulnerable? Boom. Your childish ass mammy walk outside. She like, did I just hear somebody say that Shameless pregnant? Your sister blurted out, she don't want to be called Shameless no more, ma. She better than that now. She wants to be called Sunny. I want to be called, bitch, that is my name. Fuck is wrong with you? One of your aunties that was there, you know, your granny sister, like, why is y'all messing with her? Leave her alone. If she pregnant, that ain't your business. If she didn't move on, that ain't your business, because what I've been told, you around her spreading through the family. Mind your business. So you like, thank you, auntie. Still ignoring them childish motherfuckers over on this side. So your friend from Chicago walk over there. She give you the tightest hug that felt like you needed so bad, and you just melted in her arms. She like, you okay, friend? I'm here for you, friend. Fuck them, friend. And they standing right there. Fuck them. And she be like, you pregnant? You really pregnant? You pregnant for real? Like, yeah, girl, I'm pregnant. So your friend from Chicago, she walk over there. She give you the tightest hug, and it felt like you needed it so bad. So bad. She was like, you okay, friend? I'm here for you, friend. And she just kept hugging you and kept hugging you and kept hugging you. Just so tight. She was like, bitch, you pregnant? You like, yeah, bitch, I'm pregnant. Your mama like, that bitch ain't pregnant. She was like, I pushed that bitch down the stairs. Baby, your boyfriend, your man came outside and he said, and that's the day you will meet hell. You ever put your hands on my woman. You ever put your hands on my wife. Everybody looking like, wife. He like, yeah, wife. He go in his pocket and he pull out a ring. He says, I know this probably not the place, but I wanted everybody to know that you are going to be my wife. And he pulls out the ring. He says, will you marry me, Sonny? Hell yeah, I'll marry you, baby. Cousin, I don't see y'all dropping in the comments how I can get 10 bands by the end of the day. And it is currently 4:46. Let's go ahead and get into this next part, because when you found out that your ex-husband has now 3 children with your twin sister, bitch, you were devastated. So you and your man and your baby had one more day in Atlanta before y'all take y'all ass back to Chicago. So y'all decided to get the family together at your grandmama's house to have like a dinner, of course, something like a repast, but not a repast, because the body had to go back to the funeral home, because again, grandma was getting cremated. By the time y'all got back to grandmama's house, the food was already done. Y'all had hired some caterers to, you know, feed the family. You only really invited family, but a few people from the community did show up at grandmama's house just to send their condolences. Those were the ones that did not come to the funeral. The man had asked you before everybody eat, is it okay if he lead the prayer? Of course it's okay if you lead the prayer. And he did just that. Everybody was being seated. The people who cooked the food also had like a waiter staff who went around bringing everybody their plates, because the place was not that big. You get what I'm saying? So boom, everybody getting their plates brought out. They getting, you know, they taking their orders and shit. Everybody getting their plates brought out and shit like that. So was we not invited? In comes Shrek and Fiona. And let's not forget Donkey. Ugly ass. Your friend from Chicago, we gonna name her Madison. She like, oh shit, here we go. Not too long after they got there, Shantae and Chantel also came as well to send their condolences for their sister-in-law. Her sister ended up going over there to sit with one of your aunties, and your mama went straight to the back room, your grandma's room. You end up hearing like some shuffling noises was made you get up and go back there to see what the fuck is she doing. By the time you got back there, she had pretty much ramsacked your grandma's closet, pulling everything from the top, everything from the bottom, looking up under her mattress. You like, what did you in here for? What did you looking for? What do you want? What are you doing? She was like, I know my mama had a life insurance policy, and I know my mama had some money put up. Why are you in here looking for life insurance policy? And why you in here looking for some money? She was like, well, she ain't here to spend it no more. So just a little backstory. A little while ago, your grandma had gotten into an accident with a train. And she ended up getting a very large settlement. And yes, she did have the cash in the house. She didn't really too much believe in banks. So you tell your mama like, hey, like, calm down. You fucking up my grandma's room. She was like, and she not here. Shameless. If I tell you not to call me shameless one more time, she be like, hey, what you gonna do about it? Huh? Get your little posse in there to come and beat me up? She was like, girl, get the fuck up out of here. So your niece Jayla must have heard you in the back, because you heard, hey, auntie, when you turn around, you like, oh my God, you done got so big. At this point, she's like maybe 8, 9 years old. He was like, I've been trying to call you, auntie. My mama won't let me call you. She won't tell me where you at. She was like, I'm so happy to see you. And you can see that she's crying a little bit. So, you know, you hug her. You like, auntie her. She was like, I want to go with you. I want to be with you. I miss you. I want to stay with you. She was like, mama told me and Asia to call uncle daddy. And I just felt like that was so weird. It was like, I just miss you, TT. I just really want stuff to go back to normal because you not here and I miss you. And now uncle is my daddy and Asia called him daddy and mama finna have another baby. She was like, it's just so crazy right now. I lost my granny. She knew her great grandma. She was like, it's just, everything is just so out of whack. So your mama look at Jada and was like, girl, get your whining ass out of here. I'm on a mission right now. So you tell your mama, you like, if you don't get up out my fucking grandmama room, I'm gonna call the police on you. You need to get the fuck out. She was like, police ass bitch, you ain't gonna do nothing to me. And start walking up towards you. So when your mama started walking up towards you, reflexes said, protect your kids. And you shoved your mama and she ended up falling into your grandmama's bedside table. So you like, I'm getting sick of you. I'm getting sick of you talking to me crazy. I'm getting sick of you belittling me. I'm getting sick of you downplaying my accomplishments. I'm getting sick of you talking shit to me like I'm that same 5-year-old girl that you locked in a fucking closet. I'm sick of it. So she like, so you gonna put your hands on your mama now? You putting your hands on your mama? You said my mama is being put in a cast iron right now. Everybody up front must have heard what was going on in the back, because you turn around and you got a whole audience. Your man like, babe, you what's good? Everything good? You good? You straight? You like, yeah, I'm good. I'm getting sick of this bitch. I'm getting sick of her. I'm sick of my fucking sister. That trifling ass nigga out there. I'm sick of them, baby. I'm ready to go home. So your mama ended up finally getting off the floor with your sister and your ex-husband and your auntie's help. And she was like, I can't believe you. No, I can't believe you. Words have actions. Watch this shit. Your sister-in-laws, Chantel and Shantae, they like, what's going on, sis? You straight, ain't it? You like, yeah, I'm good. I'm ready to go back home. I'm ready to go back to the Shy. So your sister like, you ready to go back home? This is your home. Who the fuck says? Because no the fuck is not. She like, girl, look, did grandma leave me anything? And your grandma was a loving person. And yes, she did leave your sister a $10,000 life insurance policy. But she thought she was getting more. She was like, just $10,000? That's all, you a lie. She left me more than it. So you end up going to the shoebox and pulling out the policy that your mama was looking for. This is yours. So your mama like, well, where mine? She ain't leave you nothing. She was like, well, I just take the house. It is my mama's. You said, no, it's mine, and I'm going to rent it out. Your sister like, I heard from your attorney the other day, and I just really wish that we could settle this outside of the law. No, bitch. You and your friends jumped me. One of them hit me in the stomach with a bat and almost killed my unborn children. Your mama blur that out. So, bitch, you are pregnant. Huh. I hope they die. Man, your boyfriend got so motherfucking mad, he almost wanted to put hands on a woman. He said, yeah, babe, it's time to go ahead and go to the house. We we leaving. Cousin, time has expired, but it's okay. You can still tell me how to get 10 bands by the end of today. Let's go ahead and get into this next part. Because when you found out that your now ex-husband has 3 children with your sister, bitch, you was devastated. But you went to Chicago and you got your life back. But family brought you back today. After that shit that your mama said, your boyfriend lost it and cleared fucking house. In a matter of 5 minutes, Granny's house was clear. As much as you tried not to let what your mama said bother you, it did. And you tossed and turned all night long. Your boyfriend tried his best to comfort you, but you just couldn't sleep. You end up getting out the bed around 7 o'clock in the morning to use the restroom. You don't really know if it was just your imagination, but you could have sworn you felt your granny give you that warm hug that she gave you as a child. And it did somewhat comfort you. Around 8 o'clock, 8:15, the funeral home ended up calling you saying that there's a woman up here acting hysterical, saying that she wanted her mama's ash. But of course, they wasn't going to release them to her. Instead of waking your man up, telling him what was going on, because, I mean, your family didn't already put him through too much drama, you decided to go up there on your own. When you pulled off from the house, you noticed that the gas light was on in the rental car. And because today was y'all last day, you had to refill the tank up anyway. So you decided to stop at the gas station. You got up to the gas station, you end up running into one of your ex-husband cousins. They asked you how you was doing, how is everything, how is the family, and how is your husband? Because she hadn't seen him. I guess she didn't know that y'all was no longer together. So of course you informed her of this. She was shocked, like, what? I can't believe that you and my cousin ain't together. You love the shit out of him, and he loved the shit out of you. You butted in, so I thought. That conversation ended quickly. You pumped the gas, and you went ahead and headed towards the funeral home. You end up calling to order some Waffle House, so when you went back to the house, you would have some breakfast for you, your man, and Sean. Boom. You get to the motherfucking funeral home. You go in there, and the first voice you hear is who? Your childish ass mama. She like, them my mama ashes. That's my mama. I'm the one supposed to be up here getting her. And nobody's supposed to be getting her but me. Knowing that you are the one that's in charge of all her fucking arrangements. So you like, what the fuck is you doing here? They tell you that they about to call the police on her. And you say, what's taking y'all so long? Okay? So they end up calling the police on your mama. But of course, your mama dipped before the police arrived. The police end up asking, do you know who she is? And of course, the bitch done talk so much shit to you, you gave them all of her information. Boom, bitch. You get the ashes. You're crying while they're handing you the ashes because you know this is your grandmother's remains. You end up heading back towards the house. You're going through your green light. Smack. Somebody hit you from the side, causing your car to spin out of fucking control. And you a little shaken up, but you okay. You end up noticing that it's your fucking mama. She said, yeah, now bitch, I could take your life. Why would you want to do that? You think you're just gonna take everything from me? That's my motherfucking mama. You telling me she ain't leave me shit? I can't get the house. I can't get her remains. Yeah, your time here is up. Oh, boom. She hit you so hard on your side that your door was stuck. And you saw her walking towards you with something in her hand. But you couldn't make it out what it was. You was still a little dizzy. When she ended up getting close to you, obviously the police wasn't too far behind. And they ended up drawing their pum-pums, not knowing what she got in her hand. Boom. The police came in the nick of time, cuz they ended up making her drop whatever she had, put her hands up. You were still in shock that your mama was about to fucking unalive you. As she getting put in cuffs, she's like, I should have gave you up. Matter of fact, I should have swallowed your ungrateful ass. All of this coming from your mama. Boom, you had to stay there, fill out a report, all that. And as your mama is driving off, you can see her lips saying, it's not over. So after you end up filling out the police report and shit, because you was going to have to give it to the rental car company, the rental car was still drivable. So you end up driving home. You still hadn't called your boyfriend because, again, your family has already put him through so much drama. When you end up making it home, your sister was sitting outside with her 2 kids on your grandmama's porch. She tells you that her husband put her out of his house. and she has nowhere to go. She was wondering, since you were going to rent out your granny's house, could she stay in it instead? No, you cannot. So she's like, you gonna leave your nieces outside in the cold? Are you gonna leave your kids out in the cold? No, I'm sorry, I can't help you. You have $10,000, figure out what you're gonna do with it. So she like, I really hate what I did to you. I really hate the wedge that this has brought between us. I just really wish we could go back to where it was. Bitch, we could never go back to the way it was. Please understand that you made this bed. So bitch, you're gonna lie in it forever. So your niece like, TT, well, can I just come with you? You like, I'm sorry, Jayla. You gotta stay with your mama. So boom, your baby, he must have heard y'all outside because he ended up opening up the door. The first thing he saw was the red car. He like, oh my God, what the fuck? What happened, baby? Are you okay? What the fuck just happened? So here you go explaining to him again. Your dumb ass mama didn't hit you, tried to unalive you in the middle of the fucking streets. He like, do we need to go to the hospital? Is the baby good? The baby's good. You was like, I feel okay. I'm just shaking up. I'm just ready to go. He's like, well, I already packed our bags. Let's head to the airport. So you locked up Granny's house, knowing that you have to come back down there because you do plan to rent her home out. So y'all end up handling the shit that happened with the rental car and stuff like that. And y'all end up boarding the plane and headed back to Chicago. Damn, what a motherfucking time in Atlanta. I wonder what's gonna happen when you come back. Over the next few months, you spent a lot of time traveling back and forth from Chicago to Atlanta. And remember, you pregnant with triplets. So traveling, it wasn't easy. Now, because y'all had a business back home, and because the manager that y'all left in charge when y'all left the first time wasn't managing, y'all lost over $100,000. So most of the time, you travel by yourself. And plus, you didn't want to have to haul Sean every time that you had a court date. So with all the continuances that your sister lawyer was doing, you was finally at a fucking court hearing. You get into the courtroom, your sister already there. She see you walking in and she say, oh my God, you so big and you so beautiful, and try to smile. I mean, she wasn't smile, her motherfucker. She actually looked like she was ready to pop. You ignore her. So when your sister's lawyer was pleading her case to the judge, he was bringing up how she was in the heat of the moment. There was a crime of passion. And that she didn't even know that you was pregnant at the time. Your lawyer argued that it really didn't matter. There was aggravated assault at the least. There was a weapon used. So the judge heard both of y'all arguments and scheduled the sentencing a few months from now. So your lawyer did tell the judge that you were currently pregnant with triplets, and in 3 months, you may not be able to travel. Is it okay if we would do a virtual sentencing? The judge agreed. So after court or whatever, your sister ended up catching you at the elevator. Bitch, you tried your best to close it, but she caught it. She ended up just busting out in tears, talking about how her husband left her, how he now has another woman, he ain't helping her with the kids, and she just don't know what to do. I'm finding it, because what the fuck she wants you to do about it? So you like, look, that ain't my problem. That's between you, the Lord, and your husband. So look, when you was getting off the elevator finna get ready and walk towards the door, she grabbed your hand. She got sob ass eyes. She like, could you just take Jayla, please? You snatched your hand away, because don't be asking me for no motherfucking favors. Now you adore Jayla, and the kids are innocent in all this. And you adore Jayla, and the kids, they innocent in all this. So you end up telling her that you will talk it over with your fiance and get back with her. Boom, you end up driving over grandma's house to see how the renovations was going, because again, you was going to rent her house out. And don't worry, you got that money up out of there. The renovations was going well and timing was looking good. You did keep a little piece of your grandma in that house to remind you of her whenever you came by. When you was a child, you and your grandma planted a peach tree in her backyard. And whenever the peaches was ready to be picked, she always made sure she called her Sonny out there to hold the basket. And she made the best homemade peach cobblers that you would ever have. So while you was at Granny's house, one of the neighbors next door, she had stayed there for as long as you can remember, came over to see how you was doing, how everything was going, to do a little gossiping. And she ended up telling you that your mama was currently in jail, and she had been in jail for the last couple months. The state had picked up that little accident that happened with you, and she ended up getting 3.5 years behind bars. Karma's a bitch, ain't it? You end up finding out that your ex-husband had left your sister for one of her friends. Baby Miss Annie was spilling all the beans. So you end up getting a FaceTime from, baby, Cutie from the coffee shop. And you end up telling him about, your niece and what your sister said. So he let you know, like, babe, we finna have 3 kids. We already got 1 toddler now. I don't know about taking care of another child. He was like, and plus, that's her child. It's her responsibility to figure out what's going on. That's not your job. Quit trying to save folks. Despite what your sister did and her nasty ass daddy did, that was still your niece at the end of the day. So you asked him to please consider it. Y'all had more than enough money to take care of your niece. I guess he really wasn't trying to bear the responsibility of another child. Bitch, you understood. You end up going back to the hotel room, ordering yourself a shitload of DoorDash and pigged out all night until you fell asleep. So you end up waking up the next day and your sister-in-law had called you to ask you to come over to her house. She told you to come over around 1 o'clock. They wanted to see you in the baby bump and just see how everything be. So you was like, okay, cool. Let's fast forward to that time. You head over your sister-in-law house and you walk into a surprise baby shower. And they had 3 of everything. Anyway, it's time to go back home to Chicago. We'll be back, cousin. I saw you come in on my video telling me how to make 10K. Let me tell you something. Your cousin ain't getting up on no pole. Them was my old days and my old ways and my whole phase. I ain't in there no more. Cousin, you finally got your piece back. You are finally back at home. Last doctor's appointment that you had, your doctor put you on bed rest because your triplets was trying to come early. So they wanted you to keep it light. Because of this, you was now a stay-at-home fiance. And your man went out to make all the money. Of course, you were part owner of the coffee shop. He was part owner of a coffee shop. So you really didn't have too much that you needed to do. So one day you sitting at home with Sean and you end up getting a text message from your sister. She like, have you talked to him yet? Did he say yes? Like, is there an update? You told her, I thought about it. And my answer is no. She has a live, able-bodied father and a live, able-bodied mama. Y'all gonna have to figure that shit out. So she like, so you just gonna let your niece get sent to foster care? You're gonna send your child to foster care? That's on you. You ain't gonna have the nerve to say, but we supposed to be sisters. We want sister when you was riding on my nigga. Anyways, after you shut that down, not too long after that, maybe a week or so, your lawyer ended up calling you about your sister sentencing. Now, I know what you about to say. Let that get what that get. But again, you was thinking about your nieces. You end up telling your lawyer to try to get her the lightest sentence possible so she won't have to be away from her kids for so long. So they decided to give her 8 months and a year of probation. So you also won the lawsuit for the pain and suffering. And that 10 bands that she got in that life insurance policy, she had to pay it back to you. You end up giving birth to the triplets around 34 weeks, and they came out perfectly healthy. You were surrounded by those that truly loved you, and it was the best childbirth experience you ever had. Your man waited on you hand and foot out of the hospital, and surprisingly, y'all end up having a courthouse wedding. You told him you didn't want to do anything big, and he was okay with it. He said as long as he get to wake up next to you every morning, y'all can get married in the barnyard. Didn't really make him no difference. So let's fast forward a little bit. Because the coffee shop was doing so good in Chicago, you and baby, y'all talked it over. And by the time the triplets was 6 months, y'all decided to franchise y'all coffee shop out and open up a couple in Atlanta. So y'all was going down to Atlanta in a couple weeks to do the grand opening. So boom, you, your man, and the kids all took a flight down to Atlanta for the grand opening. Y'all stayed in the Airbnb. Yeah, you and baby doing big things that wasn't being used at the time. So boom, it's the day of the grand opening. Y'all go down there just to make sure everything look good before the grand opening, and everything looks amazing. The aesthetics look good. Coffee beans there. Employees ready. Management ready. Y'all are finally ready to open up y'all coffee shop in Atlanta. So y'all stand in front of y'all coffee shop, to do the ribbon cutting, and it is a huge turnout. A big ass crowd. So after y'all give y'all speech, y'all thank y'all children because them are the ones that y'all doing it for. Y'all end up cutting the ribbon. Guess who you see out in the crowd? Yeah, your ex-husband. So your man, he behind the counter working too while you standing out with the kids, you know, greeting everybody, thanking everybody for coming. Your ex-husband and your nieces end up walking up to you. So your ex-husband walk up to you, he like, all this you, huh? You like, no, it's me and my husband's. It's ours. He was like, oh, so you married now? What does that ring say? The fuck? Now, out of your nieces, Jayla is the only one that knows you. So she walk up over there. She give you a hug. She tell you, oh, my God, again, she miss you. You look so beautiful. Then she started looking at the kids. She's like, oh, my God, you got more kids. And y'all just chit-chattering back and forth. So the baby started crying, mainly because it's feeding time. And your man, he always hopping into action. So you start going towards the back with the kids because, again, it's feeding time. And you end up hearing your ex-husband blurt out, well, can I at least see my son? Why do you keep thinking that you got a son around here? He like, look, sonny, I understand we got our problems. I understand I did what I did. But at the end of the day, that little boy right there, that's my son. And I would love to meet him. You see him, don't it? He like, don't start with that sarcastic ass shit, bro. Let me meet my son. Let him spend some time with his daddy. So your man like, bro, he live with his daddy, man. I am his daddy, bro. He was like, man, bro, you can shut the fuck up because ain't nobody talking to you, man. I'm talking to my wife. I am not your wife. When the fuck is you gonna get that through your head? He like, look, I ain't come up here to cause no scene, but he causing one. I ain't come up here to cause no problem, but he causing a problem. He like, I just want to be a father to my son. Your man like, be a father to them girls that you just came in here with. He cool, man. He got a dad. He like, bruh, I ain't talking to you, but he talking to you, though. So you end up getting your security to ask him. You need to escort him up out of here. He like, so this what the fuck we doing, man? Burn your shit down. Is that a threat? So your man, he must have heard that. Because he like, man, you burn anything down, you going with it. Don't ever in your life threaten me, bro. I done told you I ain't one of these Atlanta niggas. I'm from the Chi, man. We get dirty around there. So, security had to get him up out of there. So your niece started crying. Jayla, she's like, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go with you. I want to stay with my TT. Guess what he did? Left her ass in the coffee shop, took the other two kids, and drove off. Because when he left Jayla at the coffee shop, Jayla wasn't fast at all. She ended up looking up in the little bakery case and ended up asking you if she could have one of the croissants. No, one of the cupcakes right there. So after getting your niece squared away, you and your man end up going to the back because, again, you still had to feed the triplets. So as you feeding them and he got one with a bottle or whatever, he like, did that nigga really just leave her? Like, what the fuck just happened? So your man like, bang, we can't take her back to Chicago with us. So you like, shit, what the fuck you want me to do? Like, I'm not just gonna leave her here. And he said, Shani, we cannot take your niece back to Chicago. First of all, I'm not finna be dealing with your sister for the rest of her life. Two, I'm not finna have shit to do with this dude. Like, she cannot come back to Chicago with us, babe. I don't know how you finna take this, but she not coming back. She ain't coming to Chicago with us. And again, that's an extra mouth to feed. So you understand exactly where your man is coming from. So you end up getting on the phone while you feeding two of the babies. And you end up calling your ex-husband's mama because your granddaughter was left her at the coffee shop with us. Now, you and your ex-husband's mama didn't have a very close relationship, but y'all did have some type of relationship. So you end up calling her, telling her what just went down. She said she heard about your coffee shop opening, and she can't believe that her son left Jayla there with you. And you say, somebody's going to have to come and pick her up because she can't come back home with me. So after you end up feeding the kids, of course, they end up going to sleep. So you left them there in the back and you went to the front to check on Jayla. And again, Jayla is unfazed. She's sitting at the table still working on that cupcake that you gave her a few minutes ago, scrolling on her phone. So she's like, TT, I'm so excited. I get to go back with you and I get to help you with the kids. And I'm just really happy because I did not like being with that. Keep in mind, her mom is currently locked up. So you end up asking her, just out of curiosity, like, did your mama just have a baby? She says, yeah, but we never got a chance to meet her. You stop the questioning right there because she's still a kid. She don't really know what's going on. So boom. Hours then went by. The coffee shop pretty much finna get ready and close. Jayla still there, and her granny ain't came and pick her up yet. So you like, do you have a close relationship with your dad's mom? She was like, yeah, granny cool. She was like, but dad don't act like he did when he was our uncle. I liked him better then. It was like, he kind of mean now. Boom. Since granny ain't coming, y'all packed up the car, because again, coffee shop closed now. Packed up the car and drove Jayla to her granny's house. When y'all end up pulling up to granny want to have a conversation with you. She want to try to see the kids that ain't got shit to do with you. Politely denied. Boom. You walking back to the car, whatever, after having a short conversation with your ex's mama, and your ex end up pulling up behind y'all. So he like, damn, you couldn't keep your niece? You couldn't keep your niece for a little while? She missed her auntie. I left her there because she wanted to see you. That ain't how you go about doing it, nigga. Oh, he like, my son is shit. I need some help, man. I can't take care of these kids by myself. I've been taking care of these kids to myself since you got their mama locked up. First of all, they mama got herself locked up. And two, these are your fucking kids. Say, man, look, the money that you got from the house, man, do you still have any of it? Because I need some money. I need some help. He was like, I lost my job because I'm chasing after your worthless ass. Worthless? And you asking me for some money? Like, that's how you gonna keep going with this conversation? You start walking. So he called himself grabbing your arm like, hey, I'm talking to you. That made baby hop out. Like, man, don't be touching on my motherfucking wife like that. You lost your mind, bro. So boom, he like, man, I could do whatever the fuck I want to do. Why him and your dude get the jacking outside his mama house because he disrespected you? So boom, his mama come outside. She running outside. She like, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. Get off my son. Woo the woo. I'm finna get ready to call the police on y'all. Keep in mind, her son don't supposed to be nowhere near you. You still got a restraining order against him. So go ahead, call him because he going to jail. Her husband gave that nigga another Chi-Town ass whooping. But this time, he left your ex laying in the motherfucking dirt. He said, man, I done told you, bro. I was ready to lay hands on you. I ain't do shit to you at that hospital. I ain't do shit to you at that hospital. Husband sleep. They got his ass knocked the fuck out. And y'all ain't want to act like that in front of the kids, but your ex-husband had it coming because he done crossed too many motherfucking lines, and obviously he ain't learned shit about the word boundaries because he done crossed every last one of them. As y'all getting in the car, your niece Jayla, she like, TT, please don't leave us. Please don't leave us. Please don't leave us. Nothing ain't been the same without you. Please just let me go with you. You had to explain to her, Jayla, I'm not your mom and I can no longer take care of you. I don't live down here. I live in Chicago now. She was like, well, can I just come to Chicago with you? I'll help you with the kids. I'll get a job. I ain't got to go to school. I don't want to stay here no more. And again, explaining to her that she just can't come. So she like, is it because of what my mama and my daddy did to you? You let her know. Yes, they definitely did hurt me. However, I can't bear the responsibility of another child at this moment, Jayla. I have 4 children. I can't have a 5th. She was like, but I won't be a burden. I'll be help. No, baby, I'm sorry. You got to stay here. So you see her daddy getting up as y'all driving up. You looking in the rearview mirror and she just standing there and you felt so bad. However, it's not your job, sonny. You can't keep saving. You got this hero bitch complex and leave it to God. Boom. You made sure everything was in tip-top shape. And tomorrow, you and the fam bam, y'all are headed back to Chicago. In the middle of the morning, around 5:30, 6 o'clock, you end up getting a call from Atlanta Police Department telling you that somebody attempted to break into y'all coffee shop. Y'all end up waking up, getting the kids ready because, again, y'all flight leave in the next couple hours, so it was time to get up anyway. Y'all went over there and drove to the coffee shop, and everything was in tip-top shape. But you can see where somebody attempted to break in. But don't worry. Y'all got that bitch locked down. You end up rewatching the camera footage, not even knowing why you wasn't alerted, but that's neither here nor there. You end up rewatching the camera footage on the outside of y'all coffee shop, and you knew the motherfucker that tried to break into your fucking coffee shop. It was your ex-husband's fucking cousin, Daryl. His hitman. Girl, Atlanta is a motherfucking mess. Before y'all headed out to the airport or whatever, your man ended up making a phone call, and he knew an off-duty Atlanta police officer, and they ended up working out some shit. Now he will be the one that watch over y'all coffee shop, and he will also be the new security in y'all coffee shop, because again, y'all won't be there, but y'all got employees y'all trust, and now y'all have an off-duty Atlanta police officer, and y'all paying him, and he gonna definitely do his job. What's up, cousin? We back to another with a... One more time. What's up, cousin? We back with another part to the story, because when you end up finding out that your ex-husband cheated on you with your twin sister, bitch, it was devastating, and even more devastated to find out that her kids was his. Don't worry, one more time. But don't worry, you divorced his ass, you took everything, and then you end up moving to Chicago, where you end up meeting the love of your life. So, cousin, let's fast forward, because it's been 3 years now. The triplets are 3, and your oldest is 5. Y'all have opened up several other coffee shops, and y'all even sold the one in Atlanta, because your man said he don't have time for the drama. Y'all life is peaceful, and y'all gonna keep it that way. But you still had business in Atlanta, because you still had your granny house on Airbnb. So one evening, when you and the family out having family time, you end up getting a phone call from your property manager down there in Atlanta about your granny's house. She ended up telling you that she got a call from the fire station saying that the house had been vandalized. She was going to go check it out and give you an update. If it ain't one thing, it's another. So you end up telling your man from the coffee shop, babe. You end up telling him what was going on. He couldn't do nothing but shake his head. He like, I told you, you should have put granny house up for sale. He said, I understand that it's sentimental, but we don't have no business in the A no more, because it's nothing but drama there. So you told him that you agree. You're going to go down to Atlanta to check out and see what's going on with the property, but you're going to put it up for sale, because again, it ain't nothing but drama in the A. He tells you that you bigger than this city now, and that you have no reason to be going down there, especially if somebody going to keep putting you in bullshit. He told you we vibrate high. We don't have time for them lower class people. No motherfucking offense. He reassured you that granny loved you, and she would definitely understand you not wanting to be in the bullshit down there in the A. Your property manager ended up hitting you up a couple days later with pictures, letting you know that it was going to be about $30,000 to fix granny's house. You end up telling your man the cost of the house, and he tells you it ain't even worth it. Y'all conversating about it, you just let him know that you got to put some money into it, especially if y'all want to put it on the market. So you end up booking a flight for you and Sean to come back to the A in a couple days. Your man, youngest sister Shantae, have actually been staying with y'all for a while, so she gonna stay and help him with the triplets. Boom. Let's fast forward, because now you and Sean done made it to the A, and now you done pulled up to your granny's house. It looks terrible. While you was taking your own pictures of the house to give to contract, Sean ended up going to the mailbox. It was so full that it wouldn't close. He ended up handing you the mail, and you noticed that your sister had written your grandma's address more than 50 times. Boom. Because you on the phone with some contractors trying to get a better deal than $30,000. And luckily, you was able to find a contractor that knocked that shit down by like $13,000. You told Sean to put the packages in the back seat, the mail. So when he was coming back, you heard somebody say, there go my son. It was your ex-husband. Come to find out, he was fucking with a cougar that stayed about 3 doors down. Your son, not knowing that this man is his daddy, end up running behind you. Like, oh my God, like, who was this? You tell him, stand behind me, son. So ex-husband like, you still on this shit, sonny? That's my son. That man, hey, little man, you my son. I'm your daddy. He deserve to know I'm his daddy. Where he come from? I can't believe you, sonny. It's like, I ain't never wanted no problems with you. But the fact that you ain't telling this little man that he my motherfucking son, you letting another nigga raise my son. Hey, man, I'm your daddy, man. Sonny, tell that man I'm his daddy. He ain't got no reason to fear me. You glance down at Sean, and he is timid, and he a little nervous because he don't know what's going on. You glance down at your boy, and he looking very timid. He was a shy kid, baby. He was shell too. So he like, I know the shit that went down between us one cool. He like, I know shit between us didn't end, but shit, I deserve to know my son, dog. Even though my name ain't on the birth certificate, son, it don't mean shit. So your son looking at you like, he like, that's my daddy. He like, Anthony not my daddy? You like, son, come on, let's go get in the car. So you start walking towards the car. Whole time, ex-husband, no tea, still trying to talk to you. Like, I ain't trying to start shit. I'm sorry about all those years back, but I've been missing out on my son life, son, and that ain't fair. I know I got kids with your sister. I know what I did wasn't right, but son, that ain't fair. I want to know my son. I want my son to know me. I want my son to know where the fuck he come from. Let me meet him. So you like, I think about it. He like, fuck thinking about him. I ain't tell me now. You like, well, no, not now. You still holding that grudge? You gonna take it out on my son, your son? He was like, you ain't right, man. Boom, bitch, you drive off because fuck what you talking about. You end up looking in the rearview mirror. Ex-husband caught up with you about 3 lights down. He on the side of you like, pull over, pull over, pull over. I ain't losing him. Bro, pull over, pull over, pull over. So you end up seeing him flash a pum-pum. So he end up getting behind you and end up, you know, knocking you off the road or doing some type of little police pit maneuver bullshit. I don't know. The shit spin your ass around and you end up stopping. You like, I hate to do this, sonny, but I got to. He end up hitting you in the back of the head with the pum-pum. And when you woke up, Sean was no longer in the back seat. Cousin, I'm gonna use your comment. Let's go ahead and get into the next part. Because when you end up getting up from your days, your son was no longer in the back seat. You must have lost consciousness again, because when you end up getting up, you was in the back of the ambulance this time. You end up falling out again, obviously, because when you end up waking up, it was 2 days later, you was in the hospital and police was at your feet. You tell the police that's there, like, my son was in the car. My son was in the car. My son was in the car. That's all you can say. They tell you there was no child in the car when they arrived because he took him. He took him. He was like, who? You was like, my ex-husband. I don't know if I named him yet, but for the story, this one, his name Chris. You like, Chris Burford. He took my son. He was like, he took your son? Yes, he took my son. So he writing in the pad or whatever, kidnapper, woo. So you like, you know, Amber Alert. So they like, can you tell us what happened? I told you he took my son. He said, well, what led up to it? Bitch, if you don't put an Amber Alert out on my son, I know something. So you start going into the story talking about, you know, what happened from the beginning, how he cheated with your sister, how you left him alone, how he was stalking you, this, that, and the third. So you tell him, like, I came down from Chicago to the A because somebody vandalized my Airbnb. I was just coming to check on it. I was there. He showed up and he ran me off the road and he took my... The police, like, I could tell that somebody hit your car. And that it was in an accident. So he just writing in his pad or whatever. He ended up leaving out the room and he ended up coming back. He was like, is this the same Chris that you have a restraining order on? You like, yes, a protective order against this man. So he was like, oh my God. He started moving a little bit further because now he see that he is a little dangerous. So they end up putting out an Amber Alert and a missing report on your son or whatever. And maybe 10 minutes later, your phone started binging. So you know the Amber Alert was out there. You had so many missed calls from your husband. Text messages, voicemails. You end up calling him. They frantic. What's going on? I ain't heard from you in 2 days. I was finna get ready to fly out there. Woo. Like, he want to know what's going on. So you got to get him to run down, tell him what happened. He is livid, bitch. He is livid, bitch. He is ready for war. He like, I'm finna come down. You like, no. You stay in Chicago with the kids. I got this down here. He was like, fuck that. You my wife. I'm coming down. So you like, no, you know, you got to stay there. You can't just leave Shantae there with the kids. He was like, man, don't worry about that. Chantel up here too. She done been here within these couple days. Because, again, baby, I've been worried about you. When you telling me all this shit went, baby, I'm coming down. Boom. You was released from the hospital by the next day. And your man, he came down. When you was released from the hospital, whatever, y'all started driving around to most of your, like, husband normal spots where he would be. And he was not there. You kept on calling the detective because you needed an update. They still hadn't found your son. So you crying to your man. You like, I should have listened to you. I should have sold Granny's house. He's like, nah, ain't the time to be pointing fingers, baby. Sean gonna be okay. Sean gonna be okay. He was like, and he told him, like, he his father. He was like, what? He told him that he was his daddy. He was like, well, babe, look, that's still gonna be my son regardless of what he think about the situation. That's my son as well. But he is right. That's his son. It was like, I understood why you didn't want your son around him because you didn't want to have to deal with him. But that is his son. But the way he going about that shit is menace as fuck. So boom, you looking for Sean all day and all night, all day and all night, and that shit was unsuccessful. You end up calling your sister-in-laws that's up in Chicago with the kids, asking them is the triplets okay. So they FaceTime you. They like, the triplets are fine, they are good. So boom, another day then went by. Later on that evening, you end up getting a phone call from sheriffs. They end up telling you that they pulled your ex-husband over and your son was in the back seat. He was on his way to fucking Memphis. So you tell your husband they found Sean. He in Mound Bayou in Mississippi. So boom, y'all end up driving that rental car all the way up there to Mound Bayou, and you end up going to the police station that wasn't too far from there. There go your son. He was sitting right there looking happy but scared as fuck. He ran into your arms. He's like, Mom, I'm so happy you okay. Giving you the tightest hug. He was crying. He was like, I can't believe I was so scared. He was telling me to be okay. He was telling me that it was okay, that he was my dad. But Anthony is my daddy, right? So you end up sitting down in the police station and explaining to your son the best way you could what happened without having to give too many details. He ended up saying, and just walked over there and gave your husband the tightest hug. He says, I don't care what nobody say. You are my dad. A man, he picked his ass up, put him on his shoulder. He said, you damn right I'm your daddy. They end up saying that they was going to be booking your ex-husband, you know, Chris, for kidnapping. Now, long story short, he ended up getting like 5 years behind bars along with violating the restraining order. So y'all won't be seeing your ex-husband no time soon. So as y'all was getting Sean in the car, that he ended up pushing over that male that was in the back seat. That was your husband's first time seeing it. So he looking at the man, he going through, he like, ain't this your sister, right? This Toodles? You like, yeah. He like, you gonna open up the letters? Should I open up the letters? What's up, cousins? We finna get back into another part to this story because it took you about 2 weeks, but you did open up them letters. Your sister-in-laws came back from Atlanta to move to Chicago because they said they didn't have any family down there, and since you had the triplets, you gave them a reason to come back home. They wanted to spend time and know their nieces and their nephew. So when your ex-husband Chris ended up going to jail for that time, you have a heart. So you was concerned about where your nieces were. But you end up getting your niece Jayla number before you let her go back with her grandma. So you did call and check on her from time to time. And come to find out that she was living with your ex-husband, your ex-husband's mama. A lawyer had informed you that your sister had been out of jail, but no one knew where she was. Not even her fucking kids. So one day, while the family was gone, yes, your man and your sister-in-law took all of the kids and let you get a day to yourself. That was the day you chose to read a few of the letters. Let me tell y'all what they said. So let's get into the letter. It goes, Dear Sonny, I know you hate to be called shameless, so I respect it. I've been staring at this paper for an hour. My hands keep shaking, not knowing what to say. The first thing I can say is I'm sorry. Not for this letter, but for not being your safe place. I was your blood. Instead, I was the one who cut you the deepest. You probably hate me, as you should. Every day I'm in here, I'm replaying the nights, the mornings, the lies I told myself so I could keep going and feel good about the gift. It wasn't just a mistake. It was selfish, it was weak, and it was hidden jealousy, and it was ugly. I don't expect forgiveness, hell. I don't even deserve to know if you read this, but I know about you more than I know about myself. I think about you more than I think about myself. Some days, the guilt feels so heavy, it feels like it's sitting on my chest. Some days, I wonder if I'd be better if I just stopped breathing. The ink ended up smudging, so you could tell that she probably was crying. So here go the other letter that you end up opening up. Because that one didn't phase you because, bitch, you wasn't sorry when you was doing what you was doing, right? Ah, okay. Here go the second letter. It go, Dear Sonny, I haven't heard back from you, and I know you don't owe me anything. But your silence is louder than the women I hear crying in their cells at night. We used to tell each other everything. I don't even know when it changed. Maybe it was that weekend, you know, that weekend. It then goes to say, I can't even tell you how it all started. Maybe I was just lonely. Maybe I was jealous of the life that you was building without me. I'm not saying it was right. I'm saying I wasn't too... And then she ended up crossing out a line, like, and you couldn't read it. It just happened. And then I couldn't stop. You think prison is a punishment? No. The punishment is knowing I ruined my sister's life and her marriage. The punishment is remembering the way that you looked at me like I wasn't even human. Please just write back, even if it's just to tell me to stop writing you. I just want to hear from you. Signed, Toodles. Bitch, why would I ever? After reading that second letter, you had to just take a moment to go and get yourself a treat, because, baby, my anxiety, your anxiety was through the roof. You had to go and eat a piece of your chocolate chip cookie. So good. So you read a couple more, and then you started to cry, because this was the person that you had spent your life with. This was the person that crawled into bed with you when it was a thunderstorm. This is the person who cried to you when y'all mama left y'all time and time again. The only people that y'all had was each other and y'all grandma. And she broke that motherfucking sacred mode the moment she spread her legs for your man, knowing he wasn't in his right state of mind. But the fact that they kept doing what they was doing showed he knew what he was doing at a certain point. Boom. Let's get into one of the final letters that you end up reading, even though she sent you about 30 to 50 of them bitches. She like, prison doesn't lock your body, sonny. It eats you from the inside out until there is nothing left. I don't even know who I am no more. I see my reflection in the steel mirror and it's empty. It's no light. It's just nothing. I feel nothing. I am nothing. I've thought about the way that this is going to end, and I know that they call it selfish. But what's left for me? Your kids. I know you will never forgive me. The kids will never forgive me. And your kids will never know who I am. And him, he keeps pretending as if everything is my fault when it takes two. I don't blame you for hating me. I hate me too. And if these are the last words that you ever get from me, I loved you. Even if I didn't show it or didn't know how to show it, even if it destroys everything in the process. Goodbye. The family end up coming back maybe like an hour later, and your man see you sitting on the couch with all of the letters right there. He just walked over to you. He say, are you okay? You like, yeah, babe, I'm fine. He's like, did you get the closure that you needed? You like, babe, I've been had it. He was like, well, I'm happy that you opened up the letters to hear what she had to say. Is you gonna write her back? So you like, babe, she been out of jail. Don't nobody know where she is. He was like, damn, do her kids know where she is? Nobody knows where the fuck Toodles is.